And tonight, the Providence College Friars entertain yet again another opponent for the very first time in school history. This time around, it's the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh University. And hi again, everyone. I'm John Rooke, along with Joe Hassett. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Did you have a productive Black Friday, Joseph?
No, I don't do any shopping, John. I just pay for everything. That's all.
How did I not know that?
Yeah. Everything looks great.
The Hassett girls are all like, hey, Dad,
oh, yeah.
Here's the bill.
Yeah, which is great. I don't have to do anything. I like it.
Just don't forget to give me something, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's all. I'm paying for it. You might as well get me something.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Well, this team has had an opportunity now to rest for a couple of days, take advantage of a small break after leaving the Bahamas last week. Where do you feel like this team is and where should it be through 5 games?
Well, I like where they are. I mean, I'd like to see less injuries. I mean, Jaden Pierre getting hurt really hurt them. And then, that foul out by the big guy, Oduro, out of the overtime. I mean, they could easily be undefeated right now. But I like what I see with them, John, because they're playing with a lot of pace. I mean, they look like they enjoy themselves out there. Everybody has the green light. They all know their roles, and they play good defense. I mean, they're very good defensively. They're underrated as a defensive team because when you look at their size, you don't feel like they can be good defensively, but they're quick to the ball.
Right.
I mean, you throw a lazy pass, it's stolen, it's gone. I mean, all 5 guys are on the glass. They're doing a good job of rebounding the ball. The weakness they have right now is hitting 3-point shots at a good percentage. I mean, they're just shooting 30% from 3. That, for them to play that kind of style and be wide open and shoot threes, you're going to have to get that percentage up to beat the better teams. And they had a good, productive week down there in the Bahamas. But, I think that 3-point shooting percentage has to get up, and I think it will get better once everybody's back healthy.
Well, the elephant in the room has to do with some eligibility issues. We know that Garway Duval spent the time on the bench in the game against Georgia last Sunday because of the altercation in the Kansas State game. Garway is back tonight, and he's in the starting lineup. We can go ahead and tell you that right now because Jaden Pierre is going to sit again tonight.
Yeah, they don't sit Jaden probably for another week. You want him ready for Big East play because he's going to be very important. He's their best outside shooter at 55%. And when you have a groin injury, believe me, I've been there. You don't want to rush that back because then it just gets worse and it lingers the whole year, and you don't have the kind of mobility that you really want. So you got to get rid of it altogether and then bring him back. And having Galway back is big. I talked to him after the game. I said, what happened to you? The kid, he was sucker punched twice, not once. The referees caught the second one. But I said, I would have done the same thing. You should have knocked him out. I mean, you missed him. But, I said, you don't worry about it. You'll be fine the next game when you're ready to play.
Thanks, Coach Hassett. Appreciate that.
But, he was very distraught. I mean, he's only a freshman. He comes in, probably had that never happened to him before.
Right.
And I said, listen, don't worry about it. You did the right thing. You'll be back ready. Next time, nobody will mess with you on that. So he'll be ready, back playing the point guard position tonight. He makes his teammates better, and I'm happy for him. He'll be back in the lineup.
Well, this Lehigh team that the Friars are playing tonight has 4 starters back from a team that won 16 games a year ago and finished tied for second in the Patriot League. So this is a team that is expected to contend in the Patriot League. They're struggling at 1-4 out of the gate, but a couple of really good players here in guards and wing players, Keith Higgins and Tyler Whitney Sidney, who's a little bit of a local product from Somerville and played his AAU ball in Massachusetts.
Yeah, their two best players were both Rookie of the Year in the Patriot League. Now they're juniors. But they had a tough schedule to start off, John. They lost to Cornell at home. Cornell's a pretty good Ivy League team, and they lost at Penn State, at North Carolina, and at Monmouth. So they played a lot of road games. So it's tough to win on the road no matter what. And this team here, they picked second in their league, and it's a decent league. But they step up every game on the road early in the year because they know they have to be ready for conference play. It's only a 1-bid league, so you might as well play some tough teams and find out where you are, and you'll get better doing that.
Yeah, Dr. Brett Reed is their head coach. He's in his 17th year, second all-time in overall wins and in Patriot League wins at Lehigh. So he's been around for that league for a while.
Yeah, he knows that league. He's got you mentioned 250 wins. So, he knows the type of play he wants in that league. There's some guys you're going to get and some guys you want. So you have to find somebody in the middle there. And he's got 2 good guards in Higgins and Whitney Sidney are both good players.
Yep. All right, we'll talk about the matchup with the Lehigh Mountain Hawks coming up next for the head coach of the Friars, Kim English. That and more as we continue from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. Yep, go right into it. Yep. Oops, sorry. Let me pull that out of there. Yep. Might even be ranked. You see Oklahoma beat USC today?
Oklahoma's good. I watched them twice. We got to play them.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough game down there.
Yep. What do you want to do for a matchup?
We always do the Carter matchup with somebody, but Higgins is their best guy. And he's probably the same size as Carter. Carter's probably going to be matched up on Higgins.
Carter with Higgins? Yeah.
He's 6'4". He'll probably guard him.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez. Whoa.
You know who's going to go off tonight? I predicted that Corey Wright would have a good game against Georgia, which he did. I mean, he got the more comfortable, made some shots. Gaines is going to go off tonight. So he's due to bust out offensively. He hasn't even done that yet.
Yeah.
You know, he's done everything else but score.
Yeah. Didn't Lehigh used to be the Engineers before they adopted Mountain Hawks as a logo? I thought they were the Lehigh Engineers for years.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know they had a great player in C.J. McCollum.
C.J. McCollum, yeah.
I remember I was in Las Vegas. Providence was awful. I think it was the Keno Davis years.
Yeah.
And for my birthday, my son Matt took me to Las Vegas. We went to stay at the Tropicana. They just spent $200 million rehabbing it, and we went to the sports book. We had seats and everything. So we're getting ready to bet the games, and Lehigh's playing Duke in the first round. And Matt says,
yeah, changed from the Engineers to Mountain Hawks in 95.
Engineers.
Okay. Thank you.
Matt says, the line was like 14 or something, 15 Duke. Matt said, Dad, let's bet them straight up. Lehigh to win. I said, what are you, nuts? He goes, I got a kid named C.J. McCollum. Now, I watch games all the time. I've never even heard of C.J. McCollum. He said, they got a kid, C.J. McCollum. Duke has no answers for him. They're going to beat him.
Yeah.
So, all right, we bet $25 straight up. You know, boom, they beat him. We won like $350 or something, $320 on a $25 bet because it was 15-point underdogs win the game.
Okay.
How about Bryant beating Florida Atlantic?
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. They beat Arkansas
today, Xavier
right?
smoked him today.
Who did?
Bryant. Smoked Bryant.
Who did?
Xavier.
David did? Yeah. How about Villanova, man? They just touched Memphis.
Yeah. John and Joe back inside the amp. It's time now for our Midland Roofing Protect This House matchup of the game. Key figure tonight for Lehigh has to be Keith Higgins, who is preseason All-Patriot League first team, a candidate for Player of the Year in the Patriot League. And the guess here, Joe, that we have is he'll see a lot of number 22 in Devin Carter.
You know, Midland Roofing, which has been great. I mean, I use them. Dennis has been awesome. And we should call it the Devin Carter Midland Roofing matchup of the game because he seems to have to guard every best player on the other team, and he takes these guys out of the game. And if you can put Devin Carter on somebody and not let them get going, the rest of the guys have to step up and show some offense, and that's where the Friars were able to take advantage of teams. And Devin Carter's just been terrific, and you'll have to play Higgins tonight. And I'm sure, you know, Higgins averaged 15 points a game. They go to him. He takes a lot of shots, and Devin Carter will be on him and could give Higgins the flu as well, as we call that the Carter flu when he gets on you.
Here's the key, though, for Lehigh. It's a 1-2 punch because they've got another preseason first-team All-Patriot Leaguer out there in Tyler Whitney Sidney.
Yeah, they're both freshmen together. They came in, both made the freshman team together, and they're in the backcourt. So Whitney Sidney is a solid player. You know, he can shoot the shots from the outside. He plays good defense, and they play a three-guard offense similar to what the Friars do. So I think the Friars have to come out here and do what they've been doing, John. Jump on them early, play that tough defense, fight over the screens, and get out on the fast break.
Lehigh's last time out lost to Monmouth on Wednesday, 88-79. So they can definitely put the ball in the hole. The Friars, of course, last time out beat Georgia 71-64 this past Sunday. We'll have the starting lineups, and we're going to tip it off. It's Providence and Lehigh for the first time ever. Coming up next, ever from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball.
We're getting you a New England accent here, man. Ever. Maybe say ever from Texas.
Ever.
Sound those R's. We don't have R's in New England.
There are no R's in New England.
No.
Lose your ah.
Want some lobster?
Lobster. Lose your ah.
Devin Carter. Brian.
Right. There's your buddy.
Yeah, my man. They all love me.
They all love
They
me.
really do.
That's true. They do.
Because I'm honest. They like honest people.
Yeah, you call it when they suck, they suck.
That's it. Oh, they got a tough. If I hear they got a tough job again, I'm gonna throw up. Everybody, they always have a tough job. Yeah, man, that was good. That was awesome.
That was clean. All right. And tonight inside the Amica Mutual Pavilion, the AMP in downtown Providence, we've got PC Friar basketball as the Friars take on the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh University. And I get everyone, John Rooke. Along with Joe Hassett, the Friars 4-1 after a win over Georgia this past Sunday, splitting 2 in the Bahamas this time last week, while Lehigh is 1-4 coming in, but they've got 4 starters back from a 16-14 team that won 11 games in the Patriot League last year and finished tied for second with Navy. So this is a team expected to contend in the Patriot League this season. Let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island. First of all, for the Mountain Hawks under Dr. Brett Reed in his 17th year overall with 263 wins, Keith Higgins, 6'4", 200-pound junior out of West Hills, California, preseason All-Patriot League first team, averaging 15.6 points per game. Then you've got Tyler Whitney Sidney, a 6'2" junior out of Somerville, Massachusetts, 14 points per game as well. Dominic Paroline, 6'9", 245-pound senior center out of British Columbia, 9.5 points, 7.5 rebounds. Then Bube Moma, a 6'8" sophomore out of Unionville, Connecticut, 7.5 points, 4 rebounds as well. A force inside. And Jalen Sinclair at the point, of 5'10" senior out of Manhattan, New York, at 7 points and 2 rebounds and shooting 40% from three-point range. As we said, this is the first meeting ever between Providence and Lehigh. All time against Patriot League schools, the Friars are 56-34. And now, let's meet your Providence Friars starting five. At guard, the 6'5" freshman out of Houston, Texas. Number 3, Garway Dua. On the wing, 6'7" graduate student from New York, number 0, Ticket Gay. In the middle, 6'9" graduate student, Gainesville, Virginia, number 13, Josh O'Duro. At guard, 6'3" junior, Miami, Florida, number 22, David Carter. And at forward, 6'7" junior from Park, Illinois, number 23, Bryce Hopkins. Head coach, Tim England. So the one change in the starting lineup we told you about, Garway Duval getting the start at the point, replacing, if we should say replacing, Jaden Pierre is going to likely sit this one out again and manage that hammy/groin injury he has.
Yeah, that groin injury, you don't want to mess with that, John. You got to make sure it's 100% done before you come back, because it's something that can last all season and then he won't be effective at all. So good idea to keep him out another week.
Friars, last time they faced a team out of the Patriot League was against Holy Cross in 2018. It was a 70-61 Friar win back on November the 13th. And then they last played Navy in 2014 before that and won 88-51. The last loss to a Patriot League team for the Friars came back in 1999, which was a 54-43 loss to Holy Cross here in the building.
You know, the irony of that is when Coach Gavitt started the Big East, he had offered an invitation to Holy Cross to come into the Big East.
Right.
And they decided not to. They didn't want to get into the Big East.
That is correct.
That wasn't a very good move on their part, I don't think, because they're in the Patriot League right now, and the Big East is a pretty good basketball league. But, hey, everything works out for the better.
Well, the Mountain Hawks under Brett Reed, this is the 5th time they've played a Big East school on their schedule. The last time that they got a win was against DePaul in 2014. They won 86-74. And their last Power Conference win was actually against Mississippi State in 2016. So this is a team, and we know what happened in 2012 when they had C.J. McCollum and they beat Duke in the NCAAs. And And CJ, of course, has gone on to a pretty doggone good career in the NBA himself. So this is a program at their level that's extraordinarily difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, CJ McCollum, talk about him. I mean, he's in his 11th year in the NBA. He's averaging 23 points a game for New Orleans right now. I mean, he just gets better with age, that guy. And to have him at Lehigh, that's probably a trivia question that nobody would get the answer to. Where did CJ McCollum go to school? And very rarely you see a guy that good end up playing at Lehigh. Not a knock at Lehigh, but they're not known for basketball. And he was terrific there when he was playing.
Friars are dressed in the home whites tonight. Black lettering, black numerals, black and white trim. Running vertically down the sides of the white uniforms. Lehigh is in their road dark brown uniforms, white lettering, white numerals, and white trim on the shoulders and around the waist. Big East officials tonight will feature Brian O'Connell, Tommy Morrissey, and Nathan Hall. So O'Connell, Morrissey, and Hall in the black and white stripes. And it will be Moma to jump against Oduro for Providence.
Guys like to get off to a good start here, John. Get that pace going in the game. They want to speed up the game, make Lehigh get in the running game with them.
I think we're waiting for the television types to meet us tonight. FS2 is the television broadcast this evening.
With enough basketball, Thanksgiving Day used to be like all football. I mean, I don't think I watched a little bit of the 49 game. That was a good game, but the other games were horrendous. I watched basketball today.
The basketball games have been pretty good with some of the holiday tournaments. There's the tap. Friars control it, and they'll go basket to our right on the radio here in half number one, and we are underway inside the amp. A man defense for Lehigh to open up the game. On the left wing is Bryce Hopkins. Top of the key now for Duval. Duval is picked up there by Jalen Sinclair. Left wing, ticket gains. Now they find Hopkins, looks to the post, drives into the lane, kicks it out for Duval. Now he goes left for Carter. Carter leaves it inside for Oduro. Going to back his way in from the left side. Gets in the lane, goes over the jump hook, and scores with 2 on the shot clock.
How good is that? I mean, nothing, no hurry. He's just out there, nice back his way in. He's got a sweet jump hook there. Nice and soft.
It is a soft jump hook. Friars strike first here. And with the ball is Sinclair in the circle. Lehigh going basket to our left on the radio. Sinclair tries, throws up the runner, banks it off the glass and in.
Good shot there by Sinclair. He was able to ward off Duval that time with his length, get it up off the glass.
Friars then bring it into the forecourt. Top of the key, Hopkins to the right side for Carter. Carter looking against Sidney in the man-to-man defense for Lehigh. So number 22 against number 22 on that end. Oduro around the key, now gives it off to Gaines on the left side. 10 to shoot. Back to Oduro, crosses over, gets down to the baseline, wheels into the lane again, goes up and under with another jump hook. That one off the back iron. Hopkins offensive rebound. Saves it out to Gaines, who fires a 3. That's off the back iron, and there's a rebound for Sidney.
Good rebound by Hopkins there in traffic against 3 guys.
Whitney Sidney to the right side again for Sinclair. Sinclair tries to work on Duval to the top of the key. Looks to the post, has to spin to the right. Gives it out to the big fella, Paroline. Now, inside for Moma. Out top, Paroline gets off the three-point shot off the back iron. No good. Rebound for Hopkins. Hopkins up takes it left to right into the forecourt. Has it top of the key. Quick first step around Moma. Goes down inside. Goes up and under. Tries to reverse and gets fouled on the play. And the foul, I think, will be on Bube Moma.
That's when Hopkins is at his best. He gets the rebound and he can lead the break. Not many guys playing that power forward position / small forward. But as a power forward, he gets the rebound. He can push it up the floor and get down the floor before the defense gets there and finish at the rim. Gets himself a foul. Gets to the line for 2.
So Moma does get the foul call. And Hopkins, 73.7 at the line on the season. Gets his first one tonight. It's always good to see that first one drop. And his first point.
Like to get him at 80%, John, because he's going to get to the line a lot this year, because that's where his game is, in the paint, creating contact.
Second shot for Bryce. He sets, he fires, and it's off the back iron, but there's an offensive rebound, tipped back out. Now the ball swings around to Duval on the right side in front of the Lehigh bench. They feed Oduro in the post. He drives with a reverse and a score.
Good move by Oduro. Good pass there, too, by Duval. Gets it to him pretty quick. He just beat his man with the first step.
5-2 Providence. We're a little over 2 minutes deep into the ball game. Parallel over the top now with it. Looks to the left side. Wants to go back door. Gives it off to Sidney. Down low. Bounce pass up, and it goes in. And with the basket on that one is Bube Moma.
Good execution there by Lehigh. They got the ball into the middle. Nice pass to the wing.
Friars have it to the top of the key with Carter. Comes off the screen. Kicks the ball back out. Hopkins gets off an easy 3 and buries it.
Nice to see that go in. Right along the offense right there. He steps into that. Nice footwork. Good pass there by Carter.
Hopkins only shooting 14% on the season through 5 games from three-point range, and he hits his first one tonight. Providence back up by 4. On the right wing for Parolin. Now drives down to the right baseline. Tries to work his way into the paint. On Oduro, spins with a jump hook, and he hits a nice one. Jump hook with a soft finish.
Yeah, he's about the size of Oduro, too, so he gets some space in there, a little jump hook. Oduro's not a shot blocker in there. It took it right over the top of him.
8-6. Here's Carter. Got a screen. Open look at 3. Missed it from the top of the key. And a rebound is controlled there by Higgins, who touches the ball for the first time for Lehigh after a couple of possessions. Parolin on the left side, hands off to Higgins. Higgins goes over the fadeaway jumper off the back iron, no good, and it's tipped to Hopkins. He's up the left side of the forecourt. Now works to the top of the key, stops, comes to the right wing for Carter. Bounce pass Oduro in the post. He spins to the outside, spins back to the inside, works his way in with that shoulder. Now spins back out again with a bank shot hook, no good, off the rim, and Lehigh with a rebound.
Good look there, though, by Oduro. Just missed the shot.
Sidney crosses over, drives the lane, flips it up over his head. It's in and out. Carter grabs the defensive rebound. Carter now pushes to the right wing for Duval. He stops, gives it back to Carter, drives left corner.
Nice.
Ticket, wide open 3. No. Too strong. And the rebound again for Lehigh.
Well, look for Ticket to bust out here. He's had 2 good looks. Not able to knock it down yet.
Sidney in front of the Friar bench. Up high again for Higgins. Parolin goes to the right side and coming around the screen to Sinclair. Gets in the lane, dumps it off to Parolin with a reverse and a score. And this is a really smooth-looking Lehigh team here. They've tied it up at 8.
Yeah, I mean, they're moving the ball in themselves. Nice bounce pass in traffic. Guys have to pick up the defense a little bit.
Their losses to Cornell in their season opener. They lost to Penn State, a game that they led at halftime. As Carter drives to the right, spins inside the free throw line, goes up and under, and he's called for a travel. And then they lost. They were back and forth with North Carolina before losing late by 22.
Yeah, North Carolina's got some talent, but they play kind of soft. But Lehigh's hung in there both first half of both those games. So Friars have to pick it up on the defense.
And hanging in right now. First time out, 8-8 the score from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball.
Gaines is 17% from three-pointers so far. Now he's 3 for 19, so that's even worse. He's at like 15% now. Between him and Hopkins,
I know, right?
You'd almost say, don't shoot him.
I'm kidding.
And Corey Floyd's 2 for 15. That's insane, man.
I know.
That's why their defense has been so good. I mean, they're shooting it awful, and they're 4-1. It could easily be 5-0.
Yep.
Thank you.
Providence College basketball brought to you in part by Dave's Marketplace. Joe Hassett has the early, fresh take of this particular game. Joe, what do you got?
Well, you know, the Friars right now, defensively, I think they're a little step slower than they normally have been, where they've come out on people and they've gotten after them on the defensive end. And Lehigh's done a pretty good job of moving the ball in themselves and getting some good looks at the basket and scoring in this one so far. It's 8-8 tie, but Friars have struggled. Certain guys have struggled shooting the ball from 3, though, John. You know, their intensity has always been good, but when you look at Devontae Gaines, I mean, he's come in here normally in the 40% range in three-point shooting. He's just 3 for 19 this year, like 15%. Corey Floyd, who hasn't played yet in the ball game, just checked in. Corey's just 2 for 15 from three-point range at 13%. And, you know, Bryce Hopkins has really struggled at just now. He's 4 for 22 from three-point range at 15%. So when you're considering the way these guys are shooting the ball, playing a lot of minutes, and they're 4-1, when they ever get hot, the offense will pick up even better.
Lehigh with the basketball. Score is tied at 8 with 15:36 to go in the opening half. And as Joe mentioned, Corey Floyd has checked in for Garway Duval. Corey, of course, played over 30 minutes in the win over Georgia in the Bahamas last Sunday at point guard. Bounce pass now for Sinclair, center circle to the right side. Higgins now up high with it. Comes Moma. Moma on the left wing. There's a back door and a reverse and a up and end. No. Rebound off the rim. No good. It goes out of bounds. It's Providence ball.
Ooh.
Great fluid motion, though, to Lehigh's offense.
That's a bad call right there. That was all Providence. That was all Corey Floyd.
I think it was.
If they reviewed that, it was the last minute of the game, then definitely Lehigh would get the ball. It was right in front of us.
Yeah, Higgins was complaining about that one. Friars, Joe, have not scored in a couple of minutes here. They got the ball. We're tied at 8. Here's Carter with that on the left wing. Oduro sets a screen. He rolls off of that to the right side, goes right to the rim, throws it up high off the rim. It's in and out, and it won't go. And Lehigh grabs the rebound. Push pass on the left side, forecourt, get off a 3 on the left wing. Short, long rebound, Oduro on the baseline.
Push it.
Now for Floyd. Floyd works to the right side, outside the three-point stripe. There's a double team on him. He cuts back off of that, the right side with a pass to Carter, feeds Oduro in the post, spins outside, looks to go outside with a left hand, puts it up around the rim and in.
Yeah, he gets that close to the basket, forget it. He's going to finish it off. He was able to get right underneath the basket. That one used the left hand.
Josh has 6 of the 10 on the board for the Friars, who take the 2-point lead again. On the right wing, Parolin, now in the right corner, back up front. Parolin goes to the top of the key. Handoff there for Higgins, comes off a screen, offensive foul.
Parolin setting the screen right there. He's moving on that one. Picks up a cheap one.
His second on Lehigh.
Trying to free up Higgins. You mentioned, John, he hasn't gotten much in the offensive end so far. Parolin trying to get him off on that one on the foul line and picks up the cheap one.
Substitutions for Lehigh. JT Tan, a 6'8 senior out of Redondo Beach, California, has checked in the game in the middle. Here is Floyd up high for Carter. A handoff to Hopkins on the left wing. High screen, rolls to the right, goes over the 15-foot jumper, in and out. It won't stick. Sidney with the rebound.
Good look there, though, by Hopkins. I like that jump shot.
Sinclair gives it off to Higgins, who drives the lane. He throws up the runner off the rim. It bounces, and that one stays. Keith Higgins gets his first basket. We're tied at 10.
Nice smooth move there by Higgins. He got into the paint there, a little foul line leaner.
2 first-team preseason All-Patriot Leaguers. There's a backdoor. Carter from Oduro, who gets his first basket.
What a great pass by Oduro. Defender turned his head. He threw it right over his head. Never saw it. And there's Carter right there for the dunk.
Devin Carter made the Baja Mar All-Tournament team after the Friars beat Georgia on Sunday. Driving baseline. Higgins deep in the left corner in front of the Providence bench. Trying to get away from Gaines. Kicks the ball back out front now for 21. Bert Chivahar. The 6'8 senior is in there. Shot is up and missed. Carter with another rebound. Carter pushes it up the middle of the floor. Crosses over. Goes down the lane. Kicks it off left corner. Floyd fakes the 3. Drives into the lane. Tries to dump it off and draws a foul.
Good job there by Corey Floyd. He pump fake. Got 2 defenders up in the air and then took it to the basket. Picks up the foul.
It's Tyler Whitney Sidney who picks up the personal. His first, team's third. Oduro and Carter get their first rest. Castro into the game for the first time. Rafael Castro and Garway Duval back into the game. Nasir Whitlock, a 6'2 freshman out of Plymouth, Minnesota, checks in for Lehigh.
Castro gave the Friars a lot of good minutes down there in the Bahamas.
Inbounds from the baseline, comes out to Castro. Left side of the free throw line extended. Floyd now at the top of the key. Fakes inside, goes back out for Duval on the left wing. Duval takes it down the left sideline, goes baseline, tries to hit Castro in and out of his hands, and then Castro flat out runs over him. So he's called for the foul.
See, Castro sometimes he doesn't anticipate the
Not
pass.
Quite ready in the early couple of seconds of his possessions.
Good move there by Duval. Had a little bit of mustard on that pass, a little bit hard, but Castro just came in the game. Sometimes he doesn't anticipate where Duval sees things before they actually happen.
Cam Gillis, a 5'11 freshman from Falls Church, Virginia, has the ball now for Lehigh. Gillis has it on the left side. Up high now for Chivahar. Chivahar, top of the key, comes left for Higgins. Off the sideline, works on Gaines, crosses over, left side of the lane, throws up the runner. Off the rim, no good. Got his own rebound, can't get it. Gaines gets tied up with Tan underneath. Possession arrow belongs to Lehigh.
Good defense by Gaines. He was on Higgins right there. He made him work from the top of the key on down. Challenged the shot. Higgins almost got the tip in there, but Gaines battling for the rebound.
So the Mountain Hawks will inbound. Baseline left of the basket, 20 on the shot clock. And it's Gillis who looks for the inbounds. And they'll feed Tan in the post. Back outside, off balance. 3 is good for Keith Higgins. And a first lead of the ball game for Lehigh.
Good shot there by Higgins.
He gets that three to go. He shoots 34%, and it's 13-12. Floyd has it. Right side, Gaines. Now Gaines to Hopkins, looking for a screen. Gaines sets it. Hopkins cuts to the left, back to Gaines. Fakes the three, hands off to Duval. Duval in front of the bench, now drives, loses the handle, saves it to Gaines. It goes out of bounds, but it's last touched by Lehigh. Friars will keep it 7 on the clock.
Lehigh doing a good job on help defense, not allowing the Friars any penetration, and not being able to get to the basket and throw it out for a three.
Duval will inbound from the right corner as Lehigh will bring in a quick substitution. Joshua Ingram, a 6'4 freshman from Metuchen, New Jersey. Brett Reed really emptying his bench early in this ballgame. Inbounds to Gaines, catch and shoot three. No, and he got fouled right in front of the Lehigh bench on the three-point attempt. And the foul is called on 42, JT Tan.
JT Tan is going to come out right now. This coach of Lehigh is not happy with that foul. You don't want to foul a three-pointer, especially a guy who has missed
Shooting
his first
17%.
And he's missed his first 2 3-point attempts in the ballgame. You got to close out with your hand up, but you can't create contact.
So it'll be Gaines going to the foul line to shoot three. He's at 77 on the line for the season, and he misses the first one. Yeah, these free throws. Friars as a team are 69.1, which is actually steadily climbed since the first couple of games. Second shot is good, and that's the first point of the game for Ticket Gaines.
The 69.1 is stinky shooting from free throw line.
Carter
got to get that percentage up.
Back in. Hopkins comes out for the Friars. Rich Barron also getting set to check in for the first time.
Rich Barron had a couple of good minutes down there in that Georgia game.
And the third one actually for Gaines is good. He'll come out, and Barron will come into the game. 12:01 to go in the first half. 14-13. Providence with a 1-point lead over Lehigh.
I like Ticket Gaines. He has a great temperament out there. You never know. He doesn't show any emotion. He just plays hard all the time.
Whitlock will bring it into the forecourt to our left here for Lehigh. Up on the high post. Chebahar comes left, driving left is Ingram. Gets cut off of the baseline, circles back out to the free throw line. Up on the high post. And that's Henry Adiasa who's checked in for the first time. Adiasa now to Chebahar. Comes left again, finding Gillis. Gillis off the screen, pulls it out. Drives to the left with 5 to shoot. Cuts to the right, cuts to the left on Barron. Spins in the lane, dumps it off to Chebahar. And they will not get the shot off.
Good defense right there. Barron did a good job on the ball. They wouldn't allow the shot to get off. And then Castro came over. The shot clock was winding down and would have gotten a block shot on that one, but the shot clock went off.
That's 11 Lehigh players that have gotten into the game in the opening 8.5 minutes of this game. And we have an official's timeout. 11:30 to go, and it's 14-13 Providence. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball. Jeez almighty, I can't keep up with all these subs. Holy cow.
I didn't think of that.
11 subs for a team that you don't know that well. Holy crap.
Well, the coach here, Reed, his name is, right?
Yeah.
Coach Reed?
Yeah.
You know, these games here, he's just trying to get as many people quality minutes as he can.
Oh, of course. Sure, I get it.
So he gets the conference play.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Providence College basketball brought to you in part by Finetco, a family of lumberyards. Friars with a 1-point lead here. 11:30 to go in the opening half.
Hasn't been artistic here as far as basketball playing, shooting the ball, John. Friars just 5 for 12 from the floor, 1 for 4 from three-point range. Been to the foul line 5 times, made 3 of those. Lehigh 6 for 15. 1 for 4 from three-point range. Haven't been to the foul line yet. Out rebounding the Friars, though, 9-8. 3 of those are offensive rebounds. Both teams with 2 turnovers. Lehigh has 3 assists on their 6 made baskets, so they're doing a good job moving the ball. Friars with 2 assists on 5 made baskets. So it looks like both teams trying to figure themselves out a little bit. I think the defensive intensity that the Friars have shown the first 5 games of the year has lacked a little bit to start this ball game, but I think they need to turn it up a notch on the defensive end for the next 4 or 5 minutes and try to get some stops and then get out on the fast break. When the Friars are moving, as we've seen so often this year, the first 5 games, when they're running up and down the floor, fast breaking off missed shots or turnovers, they really finish their offense.
Friars have already had 2 2-minute scoreless stretches in this first half as Josh Oduro returns to the lineup.
Friars with the 4-guard offense out there right now. You got Dual, Corey Floyd, Barron, and Carter. Carter handling the ball and the point.
So Carter brings it into the forecourt to our right. Now works with a quick move to the right, heads down to the right side, loses the dribble, and a reach-in foul is called on Lehigh as Carter tumbled to the floor. And they will get number 4, Joshua Ingram, for the reach-in foul. His first. That's now 5 on the Mountain Hawks.
Well, Kim Ingles came out of that timeout. He wanted to isolate, spread the floor, and let Carter go one-on-one to beat his man to the basket. He picks up the foul.
Floyd comes out. Hopkins checks in. Dual has the inbounds, lobs it to Oduro, and touches it right in.
You know, Dual is so patient in the out-of-bounds plays, and he just has a great knack of putting the ball in the right place at the right time to a teammate.
Oduro has 8 of the 16 on the board with the Friars. With it is Whitlock on the left wing against Rich Barron. Takes it around the arc to the right side. Chebahar is over there. He'll drive into the lane. Stopped, and he traveled, dragged his pivot foot as he tried to penetrate on Hopkins.
Well, he tried to create some contact on Hopkins to get some leverage there, John, and Hopkins backed off. So he shuffled his feet right there and picked up the travel.
Momont back into the game in the middle for Lehigh. And replacing Chebahar after that turnover. Friars by 3 with the basketball as Dual gets it into the forecourt. He's picked up there by Ingram, freshman on freshman. To the right side, now top of the key left. Wraparound pass from Barron. Finds Oduro in the left flat. Oduro puts it on the floor against Adiasa. Goes up off the glass and in.
Not a fair fight right now in the center position for Lehigh against Oduro. He just takes whoever he wants down there and scores.
He's got 10 of the 18 on the boards. Friars have their largest lead now at 5 at 18-13. Left wing with it is Whitlock. Now takes it out to the center circle. Coming off the screen to the right side. And that's Cam Gillis. Gillis now penetrates, lost it, picked up, stolen, and then got it right back again. And then there's a whistle.
Well, they didn't reset the shot clock.
Yep. Shot clock got reset.
So it should be like 12 seconds on there.
That's exactly where it is. So they will rule that the Friars never had possession after the bubble.
Providence College assistant coaches were all on top. Every one of the assistant coaches jumped up off the seat. So the shot clock had reset.
12, now 11, now 10. Inbounds comes from the far side. Here's Ingram with it. Now hands off to Whitlock. Drives to the right on Barron with 5, with 4. A step back. Deep 3 is off the rim. No good. Rebound there for Oduro under the basket. Now for Carter. Carter trying to open up a little transition. Big jump step. Throws up a Wild. Can't get it. Throws up his own rebound. Can't get that. And it goes out of bounds. A lot of control on that one, I think.
Well, he tried to do a step through right there and threw it up off the glass, basically trying to get his own rebound, tip it back in, but he lost his balance and missed the shot.
Tyler Whitney Sidney, 6'2 junior out of Somerville, Mass, back into the game for Lehigh. We dip under 10 minutes to play in the opening half, 18-13, Friars with the lead. This is Cam Gillis into the forecourt against Hopkins. To the right side, Paroline with a deep 3 is short. Long rebound, chased down on the floor, picked up there by Ingram and fouled by a Friar.
Might have been on Barron right there.
It is on Barron. First foul on Rich Barron, just the second foul on the Friars here with 9:47 to go in the half. Ticket Gaines is back into the game. Barron will go to the bench.
You know, it's funny when freshmen come in, sometimes they see a shot go up, they just look at it. You got to box out at this level, you'll get beat to the basket.
Paroline has it on the right side outside the stripe. Hands off Gillis. Gillis gets to the foul line, tries to penetrate on Dual, has to back it outside the stripe again. Shot clock down to 7. Up on the high post for Moma. Moma will drive on Hopkins, goes left side, throws up the fadeaway, off the rim, no good. Friars get the rebound again with Carter. Pushes up to Hopkins in transition right. Back center for Carter, fakes the three, steps to the left, doesn't get the shot, penetrates down low, lays it up and he scores.
Well, he backed off, had the big guy on him, and then just blew by him with the left hand off the glass. Nice move by Carter.
It's almost like being a boxer where he's just tapping and then finally crosses over and knocks you dead.
He's just frozen. That first step is really good.
8-0 Friar run, three-pointer right wing, or is it a two-pointer?
Two-pointer.
Two-pointer.
Little floater in the lane there.
And I believe it was
22.
Tyler Whitney Sidney. Yep, he got his first basket of the game from the deep corner, but not quite a three-pointer. And that stops a 10-0 Friar run. Left side, free throw line extended out for Duval, up high for Gaines. Now swings it right for Hopkins. He crosses over with a low dribble, gets in the lane, goes up, slings it down.
That's Bryce Hopkins. Go to the basket and finish, big fella. He took it up over two guys and slammed that baby home.
That's 6 for Hopkins. That was a man's move right there. Friar lead back to 7. On the right side with it, penetrating. Inside is Ingram. And there's an offensive foul called on Lehigh.
Good D by Gaines. He was pushed off on that one there. Picked up the offensive foul.
Yeah, Ingram used his offensive his off arm for a push off there and picks up his second. That's 6 on the Mountain Hawks.
You know, Gaines is a very good defender. You know, you think of him as a shooter, and he has been struggling shooting the ball, but his defense has been terrific.
Duval now brings it into the forecourt, drives into the right corner for Carter in front of the Lehigh bench. Now gives it over to Hopkins. They're on that baseline. He's going to step back. He'll go up with a deep jumper off the rim. No. Rebound tip. There's Gaines who picks it up under the basket, saves it to Oduro. He fakes and he scores.
Good job by Gaines on the offensive glass. Gets that loose ball and finds Oduro for the layup.
That's 12 points for Josh Oduro here in the first half. And timeout called by Brett Reed and Lehigh with 8:06 to play. And the Friars on a 12-2 run have a 9-point lead at 24-15. We'll take the timeout. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball. Yeah.
Thank you. They bring me like 3 of them. End of the game, we got to chase them down to get 1.
I know. Providence College basketball brought to you in part by the Hot Potato Food Truck, a proud partner of PC Athletics. For your next event, call the Hot Potato Food Truck, 401-919-3009.
Well, we got another hot potato in this one too, John. Josh Oduro.
You just love when I lay it up right for you, right?
Potato, man. That's the thing. Hot potatoes. I have mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Plus, my wife makes these sweet potatoes with
nice. Marshmallow?
No.
No?
Little caramel stuff on top. It's so good. I raced home from the golf course today. That's all I was thinking about from the 16th hole on. It's mashed potatoes.
You weren't thinking about the Nassau that you lost.
I already won. Oh, you won.
Okay.
They wanted to double the bet. I said, forget it. I got money in the pocket. I'm done.
And I'm going to go home and get sweet potatoes.
Yeah, sweet potato, baby. But Josh Oduro, 6 for 8 from the floor. He's got 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and just manhandling anybody who plays with the Lehigh on the post stand. The Friars post him up, let him go one-on-one. Lehigh is not double-teaming him. Coach Inglis sees that and says, hey, we'll try to stop him then. We're going to keep feeding him until you stop him. And he's been wearing them out inside, shooting 6 for 8.
6 for 8. The rest of the team 4 for 12. That's how valuable Josh Oduro will probably become as the season progresses.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've mentioned it so many times. The game just comes to him. He's never in a hurry. Very smart out there. If they do double him, he'll find the open man from the double. But if they don't, he's got that nice little jump hook inside.
Friars a little pressure in the backcourt on Lehigh now. But they'll break it into the forecourt with Sinclair. The Friars will fall back in their man-to-man. Sinclair on Gaines beats the high post of Moma. Moma just outside the free throw line, hands off to Higgins. Higgins will drive on Duval and backs it out between the circles on Garway's long arm. And he'll drive to the right side, goes to the rim, puts it up short. Friars grab the rebound. Here comes Hopkins up the left sideline into the forecourt, finds Duval.
Shoot it.
He's going to shoot that deep three, and he will get it.
Garway Duval, nice play there by Hopkins. He finds Duval. I like to find him on the fast break all the time. He makes good decisions, Duval. Good job by Bryce on the backboards.
First basket for Garway in the ball game. Friars on a 15-2 run. Right side, Paroline. He'll drive the post, backs his way in on Oduro, who stands his ground, throws the ball almost into the backcourt, and there's a nothing foul there on Ticket Gaines as he bumped Keith Higgins right near the mid-floor line. Gaines gets his first at 3 on the Friars here. 7:17 to go in the half. Corey Floyd checks back in, and Garway Duval will come out. Lehigh will possess it, 20 to shoot. From the right side sideline, basket to our left. Paroline now has it between the circles. A couple of dribbles, looks for the backdoor cut, not there. A handoff curling to the right is Sidney. Gets in the lane, lost it. Struck, picked up there by Floyd. Floyd pushes right for Carter. Gets down to the baseline right. Going to post up on his own right against Sidney. Into the lane, loses the dribble, loses it on the floor. Goduro drops to the floor. Moma is there to the floor. It's still a scramble for it. And Lehigh is there. Hopkins is there. Hopkins comes out of there and then finally loses it to Sinclair. That was the hot potato, Joe.
It certainly was, but the guy on the floor got the ball.
Here's Sinclair with it in the middle of the lane, kicks the ball out, almost thrown away, but saved by Sidney on the left sideline. Sidney's going to drive on Floyd, goes right down the lane, throws it up off the back iron, and it goes in.
Good move by Sidney right there. He got the step and used his body to shield off Floyd going to the basket.
4 for Whitney Sidney. Makes it 27-17. Prior lead cut to 10. 6:22 to go in the half, and here's Hopkins, got fouled by Whitney Sidney on a reach around. And that's going to be his second, and that will be 7. So the Friars move into the bonus here with 6:21 to go in the first half. Nasir Whitlock will check in, 6'2 freshman, replacing Tyler Whitney Sidney, who picks up that second foul.
Well, you mentioned how Coach Reed over there at Lehigh has played 11 guys already here in the first half.
Right.
He's running them in and out, thinks it's a hockey game.
Carter's free throw is good. He's got another one coming. Devin on the season, 63% from the foul line, averaging 16.6 points per game, leading the team in scoring through 5 games. Second on the team in rebound with 7.6, behind Hopkins 8.4.
Well, Carter's been the MVP so far of the team. He's been doing terrific things stat-wise, but also on the floor. His presence out there just makes things different.
And he missed the second free throw. 28-17. Friar lead is 11. They've led by as much as 12. Paroline on the high post for Lehigh. Hands off, cutting to the left is Whitlock. He goes over the jumper off the free throw line is good for Nasir Whitlock.
That's a good shot by Whitlock. I mean, Carter was right there on the shooting hand, was able to get that one off and knock it down.
That's his first basket of the game, makes it a 9-point lead. Here's Floyd coming off the screen, curling to the right elbow, looks back door. They feed Oduro in the post. Well, it's an easy up and under move as he had 5'10" Jalen Sinclair on him behind him.
Good job by Floyd, being patient, waiting for Oduro to get that position, then throws a nice little bounce pass in for him to catch and shoot.
14 for Oduro. He's made 6 shots in a row from the floor. Sinclair left side three-pointer on the way is good for Keith Higgins. Friars left him all alone.
Well, Gaines went over the top that time. He's got to slide underneath there to get out there. He tried to go over the top side, didn't chase around the screen.
Yeah, and Lehigh has now made 3 of their last 3, 2 of them three-pointers by Keith Higgins. Left side driving the baseline, reverse, good! Chris Hopkins driving the baseline, gets the deuce.
Well, Hopkins playing with some confidence in this ballgame. This is the best he's looked. He's going to the basket nicely, not looking for contact. He's finishing off, and when he gets to that glass, there's nobody there that can stop him.
30-second timeout called by Brett Reed and Lehigh with 5:12 to go in the half of the Friars back up 10 here at 32-22.
Again, Hopkins now, he's just, he made that 1-3 early in the game, but now he sees that baseline. He gets that first step going. He's just elevated on that one. He's flew across the lane, did a reverse layup off the glass. His head was above the rim on that one. That's when he's most effective. I like to see Bryce keep going to the basket until somebody can stop him in there. Then they'll stop backing off him, take that little mid-range jump and start knocking that down.
He's got 8 here in the first half. Had 15 points and 9 rebounds in the win against Georgia last Sunday. But the other thing that's kind of hurt Bryce's game overall, Joe, is turnovers. He had 5 turnovers against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, sometimes he gets the ball on the wing and they collapse because they know he wants to get to the basket. And he tries to beat a double team or sometimes a triple team. In this one here, though, they're doing a good job of spreading the floor where there's some gaps for him to get to the basket, and he's able to finish. It's tough to beat 2 or 3 guys going to the basket.
Bert Chebahar checked back in for Lehigh. Friars with pressure in the backcourt. Inbounds lob to Paroline. And it will be Jalen Sinclair, the senior from Manhattan, into the forecourt with it. Picked up by Duval, who's also re-entered for the Friars. On the right wing for Whitlock. Whitlock, high post for Paroline. Turns, looks, hands off. And there's a foul. Another offensive foul, illegal screen.
Number 1,
and it's on number 1. This one's on Nasir Whitlock.
See, when you hand it off, you just have to, you can't move. Guys are handing it off, and then they're turning their shoulders, and that's where you pick up the foul.
That's the 3rd illegal screen on Lehigh here in the first half. 6th turnover for the Mountain Hawks as well. Friars have it with Duval to the top of the key off a high screen set by Castro, who just came into the game. Floyd thought about that 3, drives to the right side, inside the elbow, backdoor pass to Castro.
Good job by Floyd again, waiting for the offensive player to move to a spot. Castro doing a nice job moving without it, finds him for a layup.
Castro's first basket, and the Friars have now hit 7 of the last 8 from the floor. Sinclair comes off a screen, drives down the left side of the lane, kicks the ball back outside. Chebahar gets off a lefty 3, and he buries it.
Wow, he was setting up for that one. He was shooting that all along. Hopkins thought he did a good job closing out right there, but good shot by the left-hander there, knocks it down.
Chebahar just 2 for 7 from 3-point range before that attempt. Nails that one. And Lehigh's starting to pick it up from 3, Joe. They've hit 3 of their last 4 from distance. It's 34-25. Floyd feeds Hopkins, gets down into the right post, fakes left, goes right, fadeaway jumper up from 12, good.
Well, he had Higgins on. That's no matchup for him. Higgins is a 6'2 guard, and Hopkins just muscled him down in there, elevated above him, knocked down. I like the mid-range shot for Bryce. He's good at that shot.
That's 10 for Hopkins in the half. Driving to the right, spinning now is Sinclair. Goes all the way down low to the left. Hook gives it back out to Paroline, who drives, lays it up, and he's left wide open for a deuce.
Well, Castro went out on him. They've been playing off Paroline, making him take the outside shot, but Castro went out and challenged it, and he blew by him.
That's 6 for the 6'9 senior out of British Columbia, Canada. 36-27, 3:25 to go in the half. Top of the key is Floyd, drives to the right side, stops short, goes cross-court for Gaines. Gaines on the left sideline will bring the dribble off and hand it off for Duval. Duval looks for a screen, rolls to the right, goes behind the back, gives it off to Gaines, who fakes, back out to Duval with 4, with 3, with 2. He drives, left it short. Higgins with the rebound. Higgins up the right sideline with the basketball, finds Paroline at the top of the key, turns to the right, looks back door. He's going to hand off instead for Whitlock. Whitlock outside now for Chebahar into the forecourt for Paroline, down into the right post on Hopkins, spins right, goes left, goes it up short, rebound for Castro.
Good defense by Hopkins right there, didn't move his position.
Hopkins has it left side, stops outside the three-point stripe, now penetrates, kicks the ball back out for Corey, but Floyd doesn't get the shot off. He's going to drive on Higgins.
Nice
gets
move.
To the hoop, banks it up short, didn't get the foul call. Loose on the floor. Higgins picks up the loose ball. Up for Sinclair. Numbers here. Sinclair kicks it out left. Higgins gets off the 3, and it is short. Rebound is taken over the backside by Castro.
Castro, nice job of elevating on that one to pick up the rebound.
Here come the Friars quickly trying to keep the tempo alive to a higher level. Left side in the corner. Duval for 3. Can't get it. And the rebound for Whitlock.
The pace is really fast right now.
Whitlock
like it like this.
Drives right side, jab step, Sinclair right corner, got around Duval, penetrates, puts it up too strong, rebound for Gaines. That might have been the Castro factor on that one as he swatted away at it.
No question. He came over to help out, and he had to elevate a little bit higher over the glass there and missed the shot.
1:49 to go before the half. Here's a screen, driving right, handoff for Hopkins to the top of the key. That's where he sets, goes low with the dribble, crosses over, goes right to the hoop. Makes it an 8-1.
Boy, Hopkins looks sharp in this one, man. That first step has been good. That was a crossover right there. He got down past the defender, elevates into the paint there, and knocks it in off the glass.
Chebahar called for the foul, his first. And we got a timeout, 1:41 to go before the half. Rice trying for 3 the hard way. When we return, it's 38-27 Providence from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. Thank you. Not the largest lead of the half. John and Joe back inside the amp. We've got 1:41 to go before halftime. Friars toying with Lehigh right now, going back between about a 9 and a 12-point lead. It's 11 right now at 38-27. But this is a Lehigh team that I have a feeling is going to stick around for a while. They actually trailed North Carolina on the road by 9 at halftime and cut it down to 3 before just wearing out at the end and losing by 22.
Yeah, they battle. They push the ball up the floor. They run the half-court offensive set pretty well. You know, they don't have a lot of offensive weapons, so key guys like Sidney and Higgins have to do most of the scoring, but Friars done a pretty good job of making those guys work, but they spread the scoring around pretty well. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys have scored so far in the first half, so they spread it around. They move the ball pretty well. Friars doing a good job defensively at challenging those shots. I mean, Lehigh only has 27 points here with 1:41 to go in the first half. The Friar offense has been decent. They're 16 of 29 so far from the floor, 55%, 2 for 6 from three-point range, just 4 for 7, though, from the foul line.
Hopkins' free throw is no good. He still struggles at the line. The ball is chased down by Sinclair in the corner. Tommy Conniff, a 6'11 sophomore out of Summit, New Jersey, is checked in. He becomes the 12th Mountain Hawk to play in this first half. High post Paroline and gives it off to Higgins. Higgins is guarded there by Oduro. A little bit of switch there. He's going to drive on Oduro, take it down, bank it up, short, rebound for the Friars. And for Hopkins, pushes for Carter. Now the right side, Barron got an open look at 3. Off the side of the rim, won't get it. And there's an over-the-back foul called on Oduro.
Oduro picks up a cheap one there. Good box out, though, by Higgins there. He had the big fella running down the lane and was able to get in front of him where he went over the back.
First foul on Josh, just the 4th foul on the Friars.
Higgins probably gets outweighed by about 70, 80 pounds by Oduro, but he knew he had to box him out to get that position.
Sinclair will bring it into the forecourt on Duval. Crosses the mid-floor line. High post. Paroline wants to come left. Turns around. Goes to the right wing for Whitlock. Whitlock drives on Rich Barron with the left hand. Spins in the lane. Up-handed move. Can't get it to go. Nice move. It was short. Oduro with a rebound. Carter now pushes Hopkins. Back to Carter. Deep 3. Oh, he brought rain with that one.
Nice play by Hopkins and Carter right there. Carter pushed it up to Hopkins. Little trailer break. 2 guys went to Hopkins. He gets it over to Carter, and he knocks it down on the trailer.
Carter's first tray of the ball game. He's up to 32.5% from 3 on the season. High post Higgins. Now for Paroline. 27 seconds to go. Driving in the lane is Sinclair. Jumper up from 12 is good. Sinclair gets his second deuce, makes it 41-29. Friars will get the last shot here. And it will be a use it or lose it 30-second timeout here for Kim English. 16 seconds on the clock.
Well, that Lehigh team, they're scrappy, though. They come down after a score. They don't walk it up the floor. They push it down the floor, try to get something quick in transition. Friars were retreating that time, and a good play there. They got Oduro on a Sinclair, the smaller guy, was able to elevate right over him and knock the shot down.
Well, we mentioned we mentioned Lehigh, second preseason in the Patriot League behind Colgate. Of course, Colgate is a young man from South Kingston, Rhode Island. Yep.
Records.
Keegan Records is still on that team and came back for a fifth year to play for Colgate. And a large reason, since they were an NCAA team last year, large reason why they're the preseason favorites in the Patriot League again this year.
Yeah, they had a few guys come back, which was good for Colgate. And Holy Cross has a decent club as well, so the Patriot League should be pretty balanced.
Holy Cross, I believe, got a win over Georgetown, did they not?
Yeah, I watched that game. I mean, they beat them down the stretch there, but big plays in the last couple of minutes. But the Friars here with 16 seconds. Coach Ingles done a good job this year of setting up plays at the end of the half to get a good look.
It'll be Hopkins to inbound near the bench, and he goes in the backcourt to Duval.
Should start it with like 10 seconds to go, 9 seconds to go.
10 seconds on the clock. Duval center circle. Now begins to make his move left. Off the wing for Carter with 6. With 5, he drives the lane, kicks it through. Right side for Barron. No shot there. Out to Oduro, who launches the 3, and it's an air ball at the buzzer.
I think they tried to get Barron in the corner, but the Lehigh snuffed it out pretty well right there and had 2 guys on him. I don't know why they would put 2 on Barron, but they did and wasn't able to get the shot off.
So the Friars will take a 12-point lead into the locker room over the Lehigh Mountain Hawks out of the Patriot League here in the first half. Our score, Providence 41 and Lehigh 29. We've got more coming up from the AMP. Austin Rooke will recap the first half and also take you around college basketball in the Big East on this Black Friday as well. Coming up from Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball.
Andrew, can you hear me? Were you cutting any highlights in that? Okay. Can we lead with Duval first? I'll introduce that one, and then. Yep, and then do you have anything from Oduro at all? Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Okay. Is it? Andrew, you can lead with a different highlight entirely coming out of the break if you want. Correct. Yep. Thanks, man. Oh, my God. Yep. Devin Carter with that 3, 8 points in the first half, 3 of 7 shooting for the junior out of Miami, Florida. Austin Rooke with you here at halftime here at the AMP Friars, leading at 41-29 over the Lehigh Mountain Hawks out of the Patriot League. And one man that's making his return to the Friar lineup tonight is Garway Duwall. 3 points in the first half on 1 of 3 shooting from the floor. And this 3 from the left wing early in the first half. Garway Duwall, freshman out of Houston, Texas, top 40 recruit, has really made his presence felt on the defensive end in the first half as well tonight. Just the 3 points offensively for number 3. But the star of the first half has to be Josh Oduro. Unguardable in the paint, 14 points, 7 of 10 shooting with one of those 3 that he's missed, that prayer at the end of the first half there. 7 of 10 shooting has been awesome down low for the Friars in this game. 14 points and 3 rebounds, including this reverse in the first half. At one point, J.O. hit 6 in a row during that first half. Again, 14 points on 7 of 10 shooting for him in that first half. But the Friars leading at 41-29 over Lehigh here at halftime. Back with more here in a moment from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. Yeah, I didn't read that. Do we have Big East somewhere? I can do it here. I got it here. I got it here. I'm just gonna do Big East. Same thing happened in that game against USC last night. They came all the way back and just fell short at the end. They're getting blown out in the first half. I sent it. Okay, I got it. Janney Montgomery Scott helps clients connect their life and their finances. Janney Montgomery Scott, LLC, member NYSE, FINRA and SIPC. Providence leading Lehigh here at the half, 41-29. Austin Rooke back with you here at halftime and elsewhere. Across the Big East tonight, we've got 4 games final, 1 other game, as well as this one going on. First, we'll go to the Cintas Center in Cincinnati. Xavier with a 25-point victory over local boys Bryant, 100-75 for the Muskies in Cincinnati. Butler with a nice win over Penn State, 88-78. And UConn, I have to mention this as well. UConn 90-60 over Manhattan. They have now set a record for non-conference wins in a row over by double digits against non-conference opponents. It's 23 in a row now for UConn to set the record. Villanova wins the battle for Atlantis title as well down in the Bahamas, 79-63 over old Big East friend David Jones and Javon Quinterly and the Memphis Tigers. Out in San Diego, Iowa with a 66-61 lead midway through the second half against Seton Hall, who dropped the game to USC last night. And we've got the one here, 41-29. The Friars leading it over the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Back with second half action coming up next. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball.
Okay, good. Very good. Yep. Oh my God. I taught you well. Always leave the host a gift. Yeah, that's fine. John Rooke, Joe Hassett, back live inside the amp as we get set for the second half to get going here momentarily. Friars with a 41-29 lead at halftime over the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Shot 53% from the floor, Joe, to just 41% for Lehigh. So those numbers were definitely even for about the first 12 to 14 minutes of this one. Then the Friar offense just started throwing its weight around a little bit in that last 8 minutes or so.
Yeah, the Friars are a little bit more efficient out there on the offensive end, John. And they got Lehigh had the same amount of shots, basically 31, 32. Lehigh was even on the backboards with the Friars, but Friars had those three-pointers. Lehigh had three-pointers. So, you look at the foul lines, the Friars 4 for 8, which is not very good. They shoot 69, as you mentioned already in the game, John. They shoot 50 in the first half, but that's the difference in the ball game right now. Friars are getting those second shot opportunities, but to have this lead like they've had, it's just doing a good job defensively, making Lehigh work. I mean, Lehigh's stats is not bad, except the shooting percentage is at 42, and the Friars are at 53.
Yeah, individually, the Friars are led by 14 points. Josh Oduro, 12 points and 7 rebounds for Bryce Hopkins. Lehigh was led by 8 points for Keith Higgins, along with 6 rebounds. So Higgins definitely had it going there. Dominic Perline had 6 points as well. Had 4 points from Tyler Whitney-Sidney, but he picked up his second foul with 6:21 to go.
Yeah, he's a good player, Whitney-Sidney and Higgins. And we mentioned in the pregame that both those guys were Rookie of the Year first team in the Patriot League, and now they're juniors, so they've been playing together for a while. They know each other's games, and they both can score. They just need some help from their big people. The big guy, Praline, played a lot of minutes, played 16 minutes in that first half. Doesn't look to shoot a lot, but, I mean, if he's in the painted area, he'll score. He had 6 points. But it's been Josh Oduro's show for the Friars with those 7 for 10 from the floor and 14 points. And Lehigh, when you're coaching against Lehigh, you're looking at it, each coach looks at each other and say, okay, are we going to double down? If they're not going to double Oduro inside, the Friars just can go a steady diet to him if they want, but they want to involve everybody out there in the offense.
Friars in the home white, Lehigh in the road brown with white numerals and white trim. Providence has the ball to start the second half. They go basket to our left on the radio. We are underway. On the left wing is Devin Carter. He's there against Tyler Whitney-Sidney. Bounce pass over the right side for Gaines. Wants to post his 5'11 opponent up, gets into the lane, and then a trip and a foul. And it's called on Gaines.
See, they try to run a offensive set for Gaines. Coach Ingles realizes that Gaines has been struggling offensively, so they said Garway Duel sent a screen for him to pop out and take a three, but the defense was right there, so he couldn't take it, so he tried to post up, picked up the offensive foul.
And Sinclair at 5'11 behind him. Gaines just ran over him and got called for the offensive foul. Mountain Hawks leave Perline wide open, can't hit the three. Rebound tip, Hopkins controls on the right post. Here comes Carter in front of his bench on the left wing. Moma's there in front of him, wants to penetrate, gets in the lane, stops, turns around, puts up the fadeaway. Oh, he got his arm hit, and there is no foul call. Wow, and you heard the Friar bench yell in unison on that one. Moma drives left, throws it up off the glass, won't get it. Friars get the rebound. Hopkins comes out of traffic with it again, up the right sideline, now gets to the top of the key. Going to penetrate with a left-hand dribble, goes up and under with a right-hand push shot and a score.
Good patience by Hopkins right there. He watched his teammates fill the lane, but everybody on Lehigh went to those guys. He just had to beat one guy into the paint. He finished off nicely with the left.
14-point Friar lead is their largest, and there's a pickpocket there by Duval on the right sideline. He drives, he scoops it up, can't get it. He got fouled on that one, too, and no whistle. What is this with the officials here?
I mean, what are they looking at, the guy underneath there? He's missed 3 calls in a row. I mean, come on, wake up. I can see him miss 1, but not 3 in a row.
The ball goes out of bounds. Providence will retain the possession.
Maybe the tryptophane's kicking in the day after here.
Something, but he got hammered on that one. Bumped. Inbounds pass comes out to Oduro.
Oh,
Carter
nice.
Backdoor. Here's Hopkins. He up fakes and scores.
Good patience by Hopkins right there. Pump faked a couple of times, had that position, then finished it off.
That's 16 now for Hopkins. That matches his season high. And now the largest lead of the ball game at 16. Here's Sinclair on the left sideline to the top of the key. Hesitates, drives right, pushes off right wing. Moma with a line drive three-pointer, buries it.
Well, they want Moma to take that shot because they're backing off him and the big guy Praline. They want them to take shots.
That's his first three-point attempt of the season, and he made it. 45-32. Carter, Oduro drives the lane, puts it up off the rim, can't get it. Gaines had the rebound, snuck through his legs, and taken there by Sinclair. Sinclair spins in the traffic, goes back door. The pass is Perline, scores on a layup.
Perline beat Oduro down the floor that time. When Lehigh gets a loose ball, they're pushing it down the floor.
And they cut the lead down to 11. This team will play at a high tempo along with Providence. Unless the Friars figure out a way to slow them down a little bit, they like to play just at high tempo. Pounding the right side, Oduro, and he got a foul from behind. He tried to work the ball into the paint on the dribble. And Paroline gets the foul call. That's his second, first for the team here in the half, 17:38 to go. Oh, they're going to give it to Whitney Sidney instead, and that's his third.
He's not happy with that call.
Well, there's a little foul trouble now here for Lehigh. Inbounds coming for the baseline, right to the basket. Duval into the right corner, got tipped out of bounds. No, it isn't. It's a turnover.
Well, Carter went to the wing there, and I think Duval thought he was going to go to the corner, and, and he just didn't get there, threw the ball out of bounds.
So Lehigh with the ball, down by 11. Lead a moment ago was up to 14, up to 16, actually. Driving to the right side. Now he's leaving it off for Whitney Sidney, who stays in the game with 3 fouls. Scoops it up with a hoop, won't get it, rolls off the rim, and there's Oduro with a rebound. Now for Duval into the forecourt, pushes left sideline. Hopkins, he's going to drive on Sinclair, steps through 2 defenders and scores.
Well, Hopkins is really looking good in this ball game.
He's motivated.
Yeah, he is going at the glasses. Nobody there can stop him.
18 for Hopkins. That's a new season high, and it comes off the foot on the right sideline. Off the foot of Whitney Sidney. But they're going to say no. It is still going to stay Lehigh ball.
The official overruled and said it was off Carter's foot.
Hopkins has made 7 of his last 8 shots from the floor, Joe. That is a great sign.
Yeah, and he's doing his game. He's playing his game. Get in the paint, go to the basket, and finish.
Lehigh Sinclair has it. Paroline, right corner for Sidney. Now Sidney finds Higgins, right elbow, top of the key. Paroline launches a 3, got it.
Well, he's doing a good job, Paroline. I mean, he's not looking for that shot, but the Friars are backing off him and placing him to take. He's knocking it down.
He's only 20% from 3, but he's buried a couple of long ones here, and he's got 11 points to lead them in scoring. There's a steal in the paint. Ball comes up the floor now for Higgins. Higgins drives right on Gaines, spins, kicks it out. Stolen back by Hopkins. Friars trying to break it right to left. Hopkins down the middle of the lane, leans in on Moma. Big chip it in, and one. Draws the foul.
Hopkins in the zone right now. I mean, they've got that steal right there. He's taking the ball down the floor. He's unique as a player, John, because he's a big guy who can handle the ball and has great speed. So he gets that rebound or a loose ball, he's taking it to the glass. The defense has to retreat. And when you have a guy like that getting to the basket, he can elevate against smaller guys trying to get back and finish it off with the foul.
Moma's foul. His second, team second. Hopkins to the free throw line.
Lehigh hanging around, though. I mean, Friars look like they want to take control, but Lehigh's making some big hoops.
They're not letting the Friars away. Hopkins hits the free throw. He's got 9 in the half. All 9 of the Providence second half points have been scored by Bryce Hopkins. 21 for the game, a new season high for Bryce. Here's Moma in the forecourt now for Lehigh. Hands the ball back out to Sinclair. High post for Paroline, who's buried a couple of deep jumpers. Backdoor pass for Higgins, who slashes and scores from the left side.
Well, probably got screened off at that time, and nobody helped him on the back door, and it's a little easy layup.
That's 10 for Higgins in the ball game. And again, Lehigh hanging around. Only 11. There's a collision on the right sideline between the 22s for Lehigh and for Providence, and that is going to be Tyler Whitney Sidney with a foul. He just picked up his 4th. Wow, that is 4 with 15:59 to go. We got a timeout on the floor. Providence 50, Lehigh 39. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball. The New England laborers are training the workforce for today that will build tomorrow. With state-of-the-art training academies throughout New England, you'll be equipped with the construction skills, knowledge, and experience to start your career and a better tomorrow. LIUNA, feel the power.
Well, Fry's can't shake this Lehigh team, John. Fry's shooting 4 for 7 here in the second half, 1 for 1 from the line. Lehigh's also 4 for 7 in the second half and 2 for 3 from three-point range. So they're hanging around. Fry's up 50-39. Rebounding battle. Fry has 22 rebounds, 4 or 5 of those offensive. Lehigh with 20 rebounds and 4 of those offensive. So, I mean, statistically, Lehigh's staying right in there. Fry just have a couple more field goals made. They're just shooting the ball better from the floor. 57% in the second half, but 53 overall, and just 44 for Lehigh. But they kind of mirror them. Sorry, John. They kind of mirror each other out there as far as the pace goes and the offense they're running. And Lehigh's been able to answer any kind of run the Friars have thrown at them.
This is a team that does like to play at a high tempo. We've mentioned it a couple of times. Nasir Whitlock comes in, 6'2" freshman guard from Minnesota. Hence the 11 first-half substitutions that Coach Brett Reed made, and he's emptying the bench here in the second half. Oduro has the top of the key, drives to the right side for the Friars, lost it on the floor, and there's a steal by Whitlock. Tried to leave it for Carter. Carter overran the ball, and Whitlock picked it up. Comes up with a loose ball on the Friar turnover. Now for Sinclair, curls to the right side. Caroline on the high post. Oduro falls off of him, and he shovels it underhand to Higgins. Curls to the right, pulls up from 18, got it.
Nice jump shot there by Higgins. Come off that screen there, nice elevation. Nobody near him, knocks it down.
This team has got some good-looking players on it, and they pulled back within 9. They've hit 4 of their last 5 shots from the floor. Here's Corey Floyd with it. Drives to the right, steps back, doesn't get the open look at it. Now Oduro on the high post, hands off for Floyd, hesitates, drives left, goes inside, backdoor pass. Oduro.
What a pass by Floyd. He's made 3 excellent passes to the big guys for layups in this one.
16 for Oduro, and the Friars are back up 11.
Here's where the Friars have to clamp down on the defense. Defense hasn't been as good as it's been the last couple of games. They need to get working.
Driving to the right side, moving in is Moma, and he got fouled on his way to the basket underneath it. Down to the basket to our right, and it's called on Hopkins. Rice gets his first of the ball game here with 14:55 to go. That's the second team foul here in the half. And they're going to put Ube Moma at the free throw line, shooting 2. 6'8" sophomore, Unionville, Connecticut, prepped at Phillips Andover and at Brewster Academy as he line drives that one in. Hit his first three-point attempt of the season earlier here in the half. As Oduro comes out and Castro checks in to replace him. Moma, 5 for 7 at the line on the season for Lehigh. And his second shot is on the way, in and out. Rebound for Hopkins.
You read about those line drives. Didn't put a lot of air under that shot.
Providence lead is 10. Carter drives to the left in front of his bench, spins at the baseline, goes up inside, and a foul is called on number 1, which is Nasir Whitlock.
Good move there by Carter. He's going to take the ball right, then he's going to pull it back out, then spun back right away to get the baseline. Picks up the foul.
Second on Whitlock, 4th on the Mountain Hawks. Providence will inbound, baseline left of the basket, 20 to shoot. Lob for Carter outside the foul line. He drives to the right, spins on Whitlock, left it short, but he follows his own shot and puts it in.
Well, they saw that mismatch there, and they give it to Carter. Isolate the middle there. Everybody along the baseline just takes it up and over.
10 for Devin Carter in the ball game. Back to a 12-point game. Sinclair, slower pace, gets around the screen, drives down the lane, puts it up, hands off, Paroline, scores.
Again, that pick and roll, the Friars haven't done as well as they've been doing all year.
Nope.
Praline finishes that one off.
Not guarding the pick and roll at all, really, tonight. Paroline has really had opportunities. Here's Carter with it on the left side. Now finds Floyd coming off the screen. Moves it to the center between the circles. Pass off the right wing. Hopkins drives into the lane, stops, turns around, wraps around, 1-on-2. He feeds Castro, and he jams it.
Nice job by Hopkins right there. He drew a double team, so he knew a teammate was open. Finds Castro for the dunk.
Second basket for Rafael Castro. Still a 12-point lead here. Friars not right yet able to pull away. Paroline handles top of the key. Looks left. They're denying Higgins the ball. Good defense there by Carter. Sinclair gets off a deep three-pointer off the rim. and it's going to go out of bounds on the near sideline, and the Friars will get it.
Yeah, that was good defense right there, especially by Carter. He wouldn't let Higgins get it. Higgins caught the ball twice. He came off the top of the screen there and knocked down the jumper. That time he couldn't get the ball and muddled up their offense in the half-court set and took a crazy shot. Friars get the ball.
13 and a half minutes to go in this, and Bryce Hopkins already has his third double-double of the season. 21 points, 10 rebounds in this game. Floyd comes left for Devin Carter. Castro going to set the screen. Carter rolls to the right, gives it back to Castro. Gets double teamed down in the post, steps through that double team, wants to go up with it, does, can't get it. Oh, he can't finish it. Pearline with a rebound.
Well, he should have elevated right away on that pass. He could have dunked that one home, but lost his balance.
Sinclair has it on the right side, gets to the right corner in front of his bench, lobs it up top of the key for Pearline, fakes the three, dribbles with the right hand on the left side, stops at the elbow, feeds the post and throws it away. Carter with a steal. Carter up the right sideline into the forecourt. Carter back to the center, top of the key, Gaines for three. Nope. And a rebound for Higgins.
That's the shot they want to get. Nice trailer break there. Gaines wasn't able to knock it down.
Higgins pushes to the right side again for Whitlock. Whitlock thought about that three. They feed Pearline in the post. He wants to jab step in on Castro. Kicks the ball back out for Moma. Moma now outside the three-point stripe. He's going to spin on Hopkins into the post. Rolls it up there, and he travels.
The Friar defense is starting to pick it up, John. The last three possessions that had really tough shots by Lehigh and a turnover. Friars haven't been able to finish off the offense, though, after those three possessions.
That's 10 turnovers for the game for Lehigh now as Gaines comes out. Floyd comes out. Garway Dual and Rich Barron check in for the Friars. And back in for Lehigh, JT Tan, 6'8 senior out of California. And Cam Gillis, a 5'11 freshman guard, Falls Church, Virginia. And Providence will bring the ball in. 56-44. Friars with a lead by a dozen, 12-22 to go. Into the forecourt right, Dual. Outside the three-point strike, now inside to Hopkins in the right post. Spins to the inside, double team, goes up, lost it out of bounds. It'll be last touched by Lehigh. The Friars will get it. And Friar coaching staff just can't believe they can't get a foul down on the post here.
Hopkins is so good getting in there, too. Had two guys on him on that one.
Dual will inbound from the baseline. There's it to Hopkins, or excuse me, to Castro, who just knifed down the lane and was untouched at the rim for a layup.
Good job by Dual again. He's so clever, patient with that pass.
6 for Castro in the game. Back up to a 14-point lead. Right corner for Higgins. Higgins drives the right sideline. Now comes back out to the right elbow. Backs his way outside the three-point stripe. And he's got Barron on him. Now he works to the left side. Pulls up with a fadeaway jumper off the iron. Hopkins again with a rebound. Carter up the right sideline. Pushes to Dual. Back to Hopkins. And then Hopkins lost the ball right out of his hands. Lehigh pushes the other way. And Moma. And he stuffs it over Hopkins.
That's pretty good right there. He went up strong there. Hopkins didn't expect that. He was just going to go up straight. He's coming down with a smile, just not trying to pick up a foul.
That's 8 points for Bube Moma. 58-46. Dual, Hopkins, top of the key. He's going to go on Moma now. Drives to the left lane. Can't get it. Rebound is tipped and controlled by Lehigh. Into the forecourt left for Gillis. Gillis up the left sideline. Uses a high screen. Stops top of the key. Gets a screen. Left wing. Driving is Higgins, gets cut off there by Barron, pulls it out of the perimeter, back up top here for Joshua Ingram, who's checked back in. Ingram drives to the right, gets his man up in the air, Carter, and he hits a 15-footer.
Good pump fake by Ingram right there. Knowing Carter's trying to block shots, gets him elevated, knocks it down.
First basket for Ingram, and again, Lehigh pulls back within 10. Friars have had it 14, 16 points here in the second half, and Lehigh's back within 10. Here's Carter on the right wing outside the three-point stripe. Bounces for Hopkins in the post. Moma's there in front of him. Shakes him off, elevates, puts it up. Whoa, it rolls off the rim. But Hopkins gets a rug burn for that one. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Well, he knows that Momar on him, wants to take it to him after that dunk. They pump fake up by him. Didn't finish off the layup, but he gets to the line for two.
Tan is called for the foul, his second. That is now 5 on Lehigh in the half. We get an official timeout, 10:28 to go. It's Providence 58, Lehigh 48. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball.
or something.
Milton Cad, your Caterpillar equipment dealer for the Northeast, is a proud sponsor of Providence College Athletics.
Friars shooting 50% in the second half here, John. 8 for 16, but they can't shake this Lehigh team because Lehigh is 8 for 13 in the second half at 61% after shooting just 41% in the first half. So Lehigh knocking down some shots and making three-pointers too. They're 2 for 4 from three-point line. Only been to the line twice, made one of those. Friars are 5 for 9 from the line, but Friars now at this 10:28 to go here in the second half, up 10. I put Josh Oduro back in the ball game, and he was dominant in the first half. He was 7 for 10 in that first half. Now he's 8 for 12 overall with 16 points. Hopkins having a heck of a ball game at 9 for 13, 2 for 4 from the line, 1 for 1 from three-point range. He has 11 rebounds, 9 of them on the defensive end for 21, and Devin Carter with the 10 points. The Friars need to get some other people involved out here and start to turn up the defense. They weren't the last 4 possessions. They've only scored once. So they need to take advantage of the good defense they've been playing and turn it into offense on the other end.
Lehigh can definitely score the ball. They had 90 points in the win over SUNY Oneonta, 79 in their loss at Monmouth, and 78 in their loss to Cornell. They had Penn State ahead, or they were ahead of Penn State at halftime. They were within 3 in the second half at North Carolina before losing.
Good win by Butler today to beat Penn State.
Yeah, I think Butler, with almost a completely different roster, looks to be improved from a year ago. As Hopkins' first free throw is nothing but net.
That's good to see him second half shooting free throws here, John. He came out right out of the locker room. He went right to the foul line and started working on those because he's going to live on the foul line during the season. So you got to make him, especially in Big East games that end up close.
Second shot is also good. He's got 23 points in the game, and he has hit 4 out of 6 from the free throw line. 60-48. He comes out. Oduro comes back in.
Here comes the press now.
Pressure now for the Friars in the backcourt. Higgins has it, and Higgins will go man-on-man with Devin Carter. Carter almost picked him, but Higgins controls the ball into the forecourt to our right. Out front for the point guard, Cam Gillis, a freshman. Gillis against Dual. Lobs it to the high post for Moma. Moma looks for backdoor, nothing there. Touches the ball, picks it back up again. Moma, fadeaway jumper over Oduro. Rattles in and out, and Oduro tips the ball to Carter.
Good defense by Oduro that time. Moma's not going to get by him with a bump. It's like moving a rock.
Carter drives, quick move, comes out left for Gaines. Left corner, Barron, wide open 3. Got it.
Boom. Nice ball movement right there. Good penetration. The extra pass there by Gaines. He had a 3, but threw it over a teammate. More wide open. Barron knocks it down.
Second career tray for the freshman Rich Barron out of Chicago.
He's getting some nice minutes, Barron.
63-48 because of Jaden Pierre's inactivity, of course. But nevertheless, it's good here on the left corner with it again. Driving is Ingram. Ingram fumbles it, picks it back up outside the three-point stripe on Barron. Back to Moma with 7 to shoot. Now Higgins between the circles, gets off the screen, drives, gets into the lane, fadeaway jumper, throws it up off the rim, won't get it. Oduro with a rebound.
Defense starting to pick up right now.
Here's Dual, drives right, stops outside the stripe. Moves to the left side.
Nice.
Gives it to Oduro, who drives and jams it home.
Great pass there by Dual. He did a little shake and bake, comes off the screen there. Oduro rolls to the basket, puts it right on the money for the dunk.
8 18 for Oduro in the game, and a timeout for Brett Reed and Lehigh. With 9:08 to go, it's a 17-point lead. It's the largest lead of the game. 65-48 Providence. Timeout from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. What's that? Yes. Extra timeout, correct. Andrew, how many timeouts do you have in the log? Just 4 for the second half? All right. We should do that because there's supposed to be 5. I don't know why there isn't. I haven't been able to talk to the Learfield guys about it yet. Yeah. Yeah, college basketball, they have 5 timeouts in the second half. Yeah, I'll mention it to them again. For water, fire, or mold damage, call Rhode Island Restoration, 401-414-1111. Rhode Island's top choice for property damage, cleanup, and repair. Emergency service available 24/7. John and Joe at the amp, 9:08 to go. Friars get a little bit of breathing room.
Well, they're doing it with defense too, John, and they turned it up here the last 4 or 5 minutes. Made some tough shots by Lehigh, and they were able to get the rebound, push the ball down the floor, and get into their offense and finish it off. It's just human nature, John. The Friars had 3 really tough games before this game. They won at home against Wisconsin, just dismantled Wisconsin. Wisconsin went on and won one of those holiday tournaments, by the way. Then they have to play Kansas State, a tough team in overtime, get beat, then play a decent Georgia team. Now you come home and play Lehigh at home, and human nature is, hey, Lehigh is not well regarded. You think you can mail it in, or you can turn it on when you feel like it, and you're going to win the ball game. And the Friars got the message there with 10 minutes to go in the second half. Let's do it with defense and start to turn it up. They've been playing good defense all year, especially the last 3 games. And now this defensive spirit right there has led to their offense. They're pulling away.
Friars on a 7-0 run. Tyler Whitney, Sidney, and Brooke Chebahar back into the game for Lehigh as they have the basketball.
Now you want to get a stop right here after that timeout.
Sinclair brings it into the forecourt on Garway Duval. A bounce up high for Chebahar. Chebahar now finds Paroline to the top of the key. A handoff there for Ingram. Ingram drives into the lane, leans in on Duval, and then he got Duval up in the air and came down on top of him and called for the foul.
Ingram's a good little play. A nice pump fake in front of his bench there and got Carter to fly by and knock down the jumper. That time he got Duval on his left hip, kept going to the basket, pump fake, created the contact, gets himself to the line for 2.
First foul on Duval. Second Friar team foul. And it will be Joshua Ingram. And the first free throw is no good.
Here comes
Ice the Shooter from Dunkin' Donuts.
Ice the Shooter from Dunkin' Donuts is right here.
If he misses the second one, everybody in here gets a gift card from Dunkin' Donuts. Second shot for Ingram at the line. On the way. Got it.
The players must be saying, why are they going bananas now? 17-point game just for a Dunkin' Donuts.
Ingram has 3 in the ball game. Those are the first 2 free throws of his college career.
Nice
Bounce
pass.
past Oduro, spins in the post right into a double team. He's going to lob it back out on the left side for Carter. Now Carter cross court finds Duval. Oduro comes out in the high post. Couple of dribbles, a handoff to Carter, curls to the right on the free throw line, drives.
Nice.
Oduro gives it, he reverses and scores.
Boy, great activity right there, especially by Carter. Did a good job being patient, finding Oduro. Oduro gets to the glass nicely.
That's 20 for Josh. That is a Friar season high, 67-49. Sinclair comes off a high screen, rolls to the left, cuts back to the right, flips it up, underhanded, high off the glass and in. Great move there by Jalen Sinclair. He's got 6, and it's 67-51. 7:55 to go here in the second half. Carter off a high screen set by Oduro. A little hip check there. And Carter spins, finds Duval on the left wing. He fakes, he drives, steps through, tried to flip it up underhand and hit the bottom of the backboard. Up the floor, Sinclair now pushes to Whitney. Got it knocked out of bounds by Gaines. Good recovery by Ticket Gaines to keep Whitney Sidney from a layup on the right side. Timeout, 7:40 to go. Providence 67, Lehigh 51. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball.
That was really good. You see that? They're teaching Galway Dual a ton of stuff right now. Coach English went out to explain to him. He wanted him to go under the screen. And Oduro stopped the coach and Galway said, listen, coach, that was my fault. I didn't get over there where he could get underneath the screen in time. That was my fault. It was my bad. He slapped 5, and Coach English said, okay, all right. See, that's what Oduro does. I mean, he's like another coach on the floor. He's like a senior citizen type guy. It's good. He's got wisdom. Those are the little things that make a team better. When somebody takes responsibility for something that maybe the coach didn't see,
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
So we'll go ahead if you want to just bonus one or whatever you want to do, or take one of the extra ones. That's fine. We'll do that last time out, Andrew.
That's what
for the under 4. This is the under 8 timeout.
That's why I like being on the floor. You can pick all that stuff up.
Yeah.
As a former player, you see that. Coach is big.
Providence has won 22 straight non-league games here at home since 2019. Looking for number 23 in a row here tonight. They have a 16-point lead over Lehigh.
Hey, this is a tough place to play, and it's even tougher now. The place is sold out every game, and very knowledgeable fans who get into it when the team really needs it to do it. But I was mentioning to you, John, during the commercial break here, Coach English was yelling at Galway Dual in the last defensive set to go under. He's yelling under. He likes his guys to fight over the top, but certain players in certain situations he wants to go under the screen. And Galway tried to get over the top and put his big guy Oduro at a disadvantage. But Oduro, being the elder statesman that he is on this team, 50th senior, he's very intelligent about the game. He went over to Coach English when he was talking to Galway and explained I heard him say it was my bad. That was my fault. I didn't get him through the screen in time. I blocked him out. It was my fault that happened. They slapped 5 and they walked over. See, that's like when you have teammates like that who are willing to take the responsibility, that makes everybody else better on the team. And Galway Dual now will love Oduro going forward for taking a hit for him because of what Coach was yelling at Galway. Those are nice situations that happen on teams. That good teams do that.
Lehigh will inbound the ball, 26 to shoot, 7:40 to play, 16-point Friar lead. Inbound comes to Paroline on the right baseline. Back out front now for Sinclair. Into the right corner, Higgins gets off a quick 3. Around the rim, it goes out, and Gaines sneaks in there for the rebound.
I tell you, when Higgins lets it go, you almost expect it to go in. He's such a good shooter.
He's very smooth and very quick release. Duval has it between the circles. Turks to the right side now for Gaines. Hand off there for Floyd. They switch out on Floyd. He pushes left for Hopkins. Hopkins going to drive on Higgins. Gets down into the post. Backs out to the foul line. Duval gets off the 3 from the left wing. No. And the rebound for Ingram. Ingram pushes up the floor for Sinclair, who drives right. Gets it up off the rim, and it goes in.
Nice shot there by Sinclair. But again, Lehigh gets the rebound. They're off to the races. The guy guarding Duval that time took off after he missed the shot, and they didn't get back in time.
And just like that, 14-point game, 67-53. Friars got it up to 18 and 2 unanswered buckets in a row. Here's Duval, drives the right side, can't get the shot off, gives it off to Floyd. Floyd outside the right elbow, drives now into the lane, stops, leans in, kicks the ball out. Oduro's going to get an open look at 3 and hit.
How good is he? I mean, he's so smooth. I mean, he's a good three-point shooter, too. He never rushes that shot. When he has an opening once in a while, he'll take it, and he makes it.
He's 5 for 7 from three-point range on the season.
Best three-point shooter on the team.
Driving to the right side is Sinclair. Sinclair spins into the post, tries to kick the ball back out. Parolina gets off a three. It's no good, and the rebound for Hopkins. Hopkins up the right sideline into the forecourt. Friars by 17. Here comes Hopkins. They switch a double team out on him. He's going to penetrate. Now he'll bounce it over to Oduro on the right block. Oduro spins into the post, goes inside, scores.
He's just unstoppable right now. I mean, he's hitting three-pointers. Now what do you do? He goes on the post.
25 points for Josh Oduro. It is a Friar season high. His career high at George Mason was 33. Top of the key with it is Sinclair. Pushes right for Paroline. He's going to launch a deep jumper and get it. Three-pointer.
He's had a nice game, Paroline. He's not a guy who takes a lot of threes, as you mentioned, John, but he's got a few in this ball game.
Well, he's made two in this one. He's 2 for 6. He had not made one, or he's 20%, I guess I should say, before this game. 72-56. 5:22 to go. Left side for Duval out on the perimeter. He's going to shake off Sinclair. Kicks the ball back left for Hopkins. Hopkins is going to drive again on Higgins. Now for Corey. Floyd with the left hand gets into the post. Kicks it through on the left side. 6 to shoot. Top of the key. They feed Hopkins inside. Gets his man up and under. Got the shot blocked by Paroline, and good defense by Lehigh. They bring it back the other way again to the top of the key. Higgins drives to the right. Gets into the lane. Stops. Pops. Drops.
Again, when that guy squares his shoulders, he's going to make it.
He's got 14 to lead Lehigh, and it's 72-58. Boy, this team is just like a bad headache. It keeps coming back.
Yeah, they keep getting a little chihuahua on your ankle. They're not going to go away.
Here's Duval, loses the dribble, got it stolen by Sinclair. He was lazy with it. Sinclair spins away from him, gets inside, reverse layup, and a score. And Kim English is going to take a timeout. Sinclair now with 10 points, and it's 72-60 with 4:30 to go. So 6 unanswered points here by Lehigh with 4.5 to go.
Yep. Can't be careless with the ball, get turnovers, and turn them into baskets. So Lehigh will get down the floor quickly, trying to get an easy one.
We'll take the timeout. It's actually a 7-0 Lehigh run after the Friars were up by 19 from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. Yeah. All right. Well, that's okay. That's fine. Yeah, that starts in like 13 minutes. All right.
What station is the hockey team on?
On 790. Yep. Providence was leading 72-53 over Lehigh with 6 minutes to go in the second half. And then 7 unanswered points, a three-pointer from Dominic Paroline, and then another jumper from Keith Higgins, followed by Jalen Sinclair's layup. And a 7-0 run has put a little life and a little hope back into Lehigh's chances here with 4.5 to go. They did it in 90 seconds.
Yeah, you know, and they're a team that's played a lot of tough road games already this year. They were at Penn State. They were at North Carolina. So they're used to playing in tough games on the road. And, you know, they're battling this one. They don't give up. And they have a loose ball or a quick rebound, and they're off to the races, getting it down and finishing at the rim. Friars have to do a better job of getting back on defense. When they get up by 19, they felt like the team was going to roll over and play dead, but that's not the case. You know, in college basketball, with that 30-second shot clock and the three-pointer, you're never out of a game. You start knocking down some shots, get a little bit closer, and the pressure is on the Friars now to score because Lehigh's not expected to win this ball game, and they're just loosey-goosey out there. They're just going to keep coming. The Friars have to get a good offensive set right here and get a score.
26 field goals for Lehigh in this game, Joe, is the most the Friars have allowed an opponent this season, and we've still got 4.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, the defense had spurts. When they got that big lead, the defense clamped down. They were shutting them down. They were taking bad shots, Lehigh, at the end of the shot clock. The Friars have not stopped playing defense here the last 4 or 5 minutes, and Lehigh's back in the game because of it.
So here comes Carter with the ball into the forecourt, and 4:25 left. Drives to the right side. Odero pops out high to grab it. Comes left. Rich Barron back into the game. He'll drive to the center. He'll find Hopkins, who penetrates and spins on Higgins. Pulls back at the foul line. Jumper missed almost everything. And the rebound comes down hard to Lehigh.
It smashed off the glass, that one.
Sinclair has it between the circles. He's picked up there by Carter defensively. Looks for the inside, looking for a clear through on the baseline. Kicks it left. Pearline got open for three. In and out. It won't go, and Hopkins saves the rebound.
Braylon thinks he's a big three-point shooter now. Well, he had a good look. That was halfway down.
It was halfway down. That would have made it a 7-point, or excuse me, it would have brought it down within 9. Right side for Hopkins. There's a feed. Odero on the post, and there's a hold. Pearline is called for it, his second foul. And that is team foul 6. With 3:39 to go.
Pearline's played tough, though. I mean, Odero's been out there owning inside there. Odero's had a huge game here with the 25 points. But Pearline's tried to put some pressure on him in the offensive end.
Tyler Whitney-Sidney back into the game with 4 fouls for Lehigh. Inbounds lob out to Odero near the top of the key. He's going to drive left, spins on Pearline, goes up and under, puts it up, won't get it. There's a body foul called. And that one again is on Pearline, who picks up his third, and that will put Josh at the line shooting.
Pearline took away that right hand on Josh, made him forced to take the fall away, but he reached in and slapped him across the wrist. He had him in the right position. He just reached in there, picked up the foul.
Shooting foul, though, 17 fouls, so the Friars will be on the bonus for the last 3.5 here. And Odero at the free throw line puts the first one home. That's his first of the night here. He is a 78% free throw shooter on the season.
Guy's efficient player. That's what best way to describe him. He's very efficient, Odero.
Second shot, also good. 13.5, 27 for the game for Josh Odero, 74-60. High post, handoff there, curling around inside Sinclair and puts it up and score once again for Pearline on a layup.
Pearline on the high pick and roll. I mean, every team utilizes that. Fry's trying to get over the top. Nice bounce pass in traffic.
18 points for the senior from British Columbia. On the right side, base or free throw line extended. Top of the key now for Gaines. Odero high post, hands off for Carter. Carter spins, stops, looks in, goes back out for Gaines. 8 to shoot, under 3 to play. Gaines has it on the left wing. Feeds Odero with 4, with 3, backs his way in. Jump hook up and in. Oh, my sweet.
Man, how do you stop that?
I don't know.
You don't stop that. That was a great move
every time.
He's playing terrific ball.
15.5 for Odero, 29 for the game for Josh. Deep three, Sinclair, no good. And a rebound for Carter. 76-62, 2.5 to play. Carter walks it into the forecourt to the left side. Spins on Higgins. Back out front now for Odero. Hands off for Barron. Gives it back to Odero. In and out of his hands. There's a steal. Whitney-Sidney up the floor. Drives it to Higgins. Puts up the runner. Won't get it. Got fouled by Carter.
That's a tough call right there. Carter looked like he went straight up on that one.
So Carter will be called for his first foul of the ball game with 2:13 left. That's just team foul 4 on the Friars, but Keith Higgins will go to the free throw line for the first time tonight. 71% for the line of the season. Leading Lehigh in scoring at 15.6 points per game. Nothing but net on the free throw.
Yeah, last offensive set, Barron had the ball there. He had right idea to Odero, but he threw a fastball, Nolan Ryan speed on it. Odero just couldn't handle the pass, and that's why he got the turnover there.
So one more for Higgins. 15 for Lehigh.
Barron just came out of the game. He looks like he should be a middle linebacker for the Patriots. It's a big kid.
They might use him right now. Second shot for Higgins is good.
The Rookster.
16 for Higgins. 76-64.
They should bring Brady back.
Oh, okay. Good call.
He'd solve everything.
50-year-old quarterback. Right side on the sideline. With it is Hopkins. Bounces back out front for Duval. And we are under 2 to play. Lob into the right corner for Carter. And the defense trying to trap for Lehigh here to force a turnover, but 10 to shoot for the Friars. Here's Duval, comes off a high screen. Double team is out on him. Throws it over to Carter with 4. With 3, he's going to launch a 35-footer. It's off the rim, and the rebound for Higgins. I don't think that's what Coach English wanted. Here comes Higgins in a hurry to the top of the key with it, covered there by Hopkins. Comes around the arc to the right side. Flashing in there as Sidney gets into the lane, turns around, puts up the jumper, in and out, no good. Rebound grabbed there by Carter.
Good defense there by Gaines, challenging that shot.
Here comes Carter in the forecourt. Friars took a little too much time that time. Oduro flips it over to Gaines, left side. Hopkins drives the baseline, kicks it all the way through. Three-pointer. Carter can't get it. Rebound Hopkins. Hopkins tries to go up with it and lays it in.
Rice finishes off that big rebound right there. Basically ices it right there with a minute to go.
25 for Bryce Hopkins in this game, and it's 78-64. 55 seconds left. Never really felt totally comfortable in this one. Long lob, left side Higgins. Drives the lane, throws up the runner, off the rim. Oduro gets the rebound. I think maybe you can finally feel comfortable.
Yeah, I've been comfortable all along, though, John. I just felt like the Friars, their defensive effort wasn't as great as it's been the last 3 games. It just felt like they could take over when they felt like it. But that didn't happen as the Lehigh team kept battling.
Duval now to Carter. Work the clock all the way down as best they can. Carter back out front for Oduro. They run the offense. Oduro drives left, puts up the fadeaway, can't get it. And Gaines is called for an over-the-back foul as Oduro is trying to hit a 30-point night here and couldn't quite get there.
That was a good move. He just missed the shot. I mean, he's had a heck of a game. That's one of the few shots he's missed in this one. He's been dominant out there.
Gaines picks up his 3rd foul. Sinclair gets the inbounds with 19 seconds left. Up the left side. Sinclair drives all the way to the baseline, banks it up, won't get it. Rebound is taken there by Oduro. That should do it. Long pass into the forecourt for Duval, but he's just going to let the clock run out. And the Friars will move to 5-1 on the season with a 78-64 win over a pretty good Lehigh basketball team.
Well, yeah, impressed with Lehigh. I mean, they've had some tough road games. I mentioned at Penn State, at North Carolina, so they come in here, another tough road game, and they battled in the last minute in this one. Friars had to turn up the defense to fill up the lead and finally put these guys away.
Santander postgame show is coming up next from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball.
And some scores for tonight's game for the Lehigh University Hawks. 3 players who helped with the scoring. 10 points tonight.
No, but I think we got to give the player of the game to Josh Oduro. Yeah, you can play whatever you want coming back. It's fine. So you can save an Oduro play for the last break. Yeah. Okay.
Don't miss the next matchup near the end. The Flyers back here on Tuesday night, November 28th against the Learfield.
Thank you.
7 p.m. Visit Flyers.com for tickets. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. I will see you again. Go Flyers.
Yeah, Bryce Hopkins, good to see him come back with some offensive authority here in this ball game tonight. He ended up with 25 points, a season high, 12 of the first half, 13 in the second half. The shot came back a little bit, Joe, but he was just more authoritative as the Friars roll on to a 78-64 win over Lehigh tonight.
Yeah, the big difference, John, is he's going to the basket now and trying to make the shot instead of trying to create contact and get a foul and then take the shot. So he's finishing at the rim. And then if he gets fouled, that's a bonus. You go to the line then. But he's such a difficult matchup. He has a great first step, and when he gets in and splits the defender, he gets up, puts it off the glass nightly.
Well, let's give a little credit to the opponent tonight. Lehigh was just 1-4 coming into the game, 1-5 now. But at the same time, this is a team that had 4 starters back from last year's team that finished tied for second of the Patriot. They were picked for second of the Patriot League this year behind Colgate. We can see why they're a contender. They have 2 first-team All-Patriot League performers out on the floor, and Keith Higgins and Tyler Whitney-Sidney. And even though Whitney-Sidney ended up in foul trouble most of this game, we've seen this team that has some shooting ability and some rebounding ability, and they play at a faster tempo like Providence does.
Oh, they did. I mean, I've already mentioned they've had some tough road games already, so they've, been tested. They've been at Penn State. They were at North Carolina. And this team, those 2 guys you mentioned, John, they were on the all-rookie team in the Patriot League, so they've been playing together now for 3 years as juniors. And they're tough. I mean, and the big guy had a big game. Dominic Peroline, I mean, he's from British Columbia, as you already mentioned, John. He was 8 for 15 from the floor, 2 for 7 from 3. He doesn't even look at the three-pointer normally.
Right.
But the Friars weren't guarding him out here. They wanted to take him away and put Josh Odoro in the middle to try to help out on the defensive sets where they get over the top. But, I thought this team played hard. They didn't go away. I mean, they got it to 10 points there, and they just kept battling. But the Friars, I felt like the Friars came out. They had 3 tough games of Friars right in a row, and their defense was superb. When they came in and just dismantled Wisconsin, then the Kansas State game was a tough game. They lost in overtime. Then Georgia was another tough physical game. So you come in here at home and you kind of relax a little bit, and you think you can turn the defense on when you feel like it. Playing against Lehigh, hey, we're going to beat these guys no matter what. But that's what happens as a coach. That's one of the toughest things you have to try to get across to your team. Come out there and keep it on them, and they weren't able to do that early. And that got Lehigh off to some confidence offensively. But when the Friars need to turn the defense on, they got it up to 19. Then they thought Lehigh would go away, but they didn't. They just kept battling.
Right.
But the Friars were able to put it away, and that's what happened at the end.
Well, Lehigh only had 1 lead in this game. It was back in the first half at 13-12 before the Friars assumed command and stretched out a short lead to 12 at halftime. It was 41-29 in the break. And in the second half, the Friars took that lead up to 16-17, but Lehigh kept cutting it back down to 10, 11, 12 points. Had an opportunity to get it to 9 before a missed 3-point attempt. It never got closer than 10 in the second half. But for a while there, it just you weren't comfortable all the way. The lead, as you said, did expand all the way out to 19 with 6 minutes left. And then after that point, 7 unanswered points by Lehigh cut it down to a dozen again.
Yeah, I mean, Lehigh was just hanging in the game. I mean, they didn't shoot the ball that badly for the game. They were 45%. They were 6 for 17 at 35% from 3. They only took 6 free throws. Friars took 13 in the game and made 9 of those. But, the Friars just seemed to have control when they needed it. And the guy who was just terrific in the game was Josh Odoro. Every time the Friars needed a hoop, they either went to Odoro or Hopkins, and both guys came through big time. But Odoro, how about the moves and the post on him? Backs guys in, and he takes that little jump hook, John. They really didn't have anybody to bother him in the side there, and he gets the position that he wants. And he's so intelligent out there. He just takes his time. And Lehigh decided they weren't going to double him because they don't want to give up threes. Odoro just took his time, knew the double wasn't coming, got to a spot and scored.
That's precisely what's going to make Josh really a valuable contributor for the Friars down the stretch, because teams know that they don't want the Friars to shoot threes. The Friars will take threes, and if they ever start getting into a rhythm where they're making threes, that's going to really make Josh Oduro effective.
Yeah, and he's a good passer. He makes good decisions out there. He's a fifth-year guy, and he just knows how to play, and it's fun to watch him play. And you already mentioned, he's 5 for 7 from 3-point range. When's the last time we had a center that even make a 3-pointer? Never mind make 5 out of 7. So he's efficient out there. If a big guy wants to back off him and not allow him to get into the post and make him take outside shots, he'll make you pay for that. He can make the 3-point shot as well. So he's got a very well diversified game, and he's a good passer. So he's a nice addition to this Friar team and makes everybody else better.
A Providence career high 29 points for Josh Oduro to lead all scorers in this one. Friars move to 5-1 on the season with a 78-64 win here at the Amp. More of our Santander postgame show coming up next from Learfield. This is Providence Friar basketball. Come on, what the heck? Yep.
Go and shoot. No? You don't go out there and take a shot,
Nice to see Rich Barron have an opportunity not only to play, but also get into the scoring column. And when he's into the game, the Friars are going to look for him to try to get to that corner because that's his sweet spot.
Yeah, he's done a good job. We went into that Georgia game, John, when 2 guards were down, and he made some nice minutes. He wasn't getting any minutes before that, but now he's in the rotation a little bit, and coach is confident in him.
Well, certainly in the rotation because the Friars were without Jaden Pierre again tonight, who's sitting out due to the hamstring/groin injury that he suffered a little more than about a week ago in the Bahamas. And the thought was to set him out again tonight just to make sure that he can get completely healed up. And I think the precautionary move probably going to pay off, or at least you hope that it will. Saw him out here warming up before the game tonight and looked like he was moving pretty well, but no sense in trying to tweak something, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's so important to this team. He shoots 55% from 3, and he can get his own shot, and he's a very good passer, and he runs the floor. when you want him for Big East games, and that injury is, I've had that injury when you don't completely heal it. It just keeps lingering. It doesn't go away, and you can always feel it tweaking. You feel it's going to get worse, and you stop moving, and you don't want that. You want him back in time for Big East Conference.
Yeah, and obviously with Jaden really being the best three-point shooter, it appears that Friars have on the season, with Josh Oduro's performance notwithstanding. They probably want him well if at all possible. So jury will still be out of whether or not he'll come back and play against Wagner on Tuesday. So the big story to this game really is John and Joe back here at the AMP Santander postgame show. 78-64 win for the Friars over Lehigh tonight to move to 5-1 of the season. Story was the 1-2 punch by Josh Oduro and Bryce Hopkins, who combined for 54 points. But, Joe, they shot 23 of 34 from the floor. The rest of the team was only 9 for 28, 33%.
Yeah, I mean, good thing they were out there offensively, but the Friars really went to them. They, Coach English does a good job of seeing matchups, and he really exploited Oduro on the post. And, again, when you see a team is not going to double team your big guy and they isolate him on one side, Coach does a good job of having everybody move around and get to open spots. They don't stand around. And Oduro is very good. He handles the ball. He feels the contact, and he gets it to his spot and does that little jump hook, does a nice spin move. But he knows he only had his man to beat. He didn't have to worry about getting double teamed, and he just got to his spot and made him pay.
All right, well, we'll take a quick look at some of the numbers here for Lehigh. As they drop to 1-5, they have 3 players in double figures, led by Dominic Paroline with a team-high 18 points with 3 rebounds. He had 2 of 7 from 3. 16 points and a team-high 8 rebounds for Keith Higgins, preseason first-team All-Patriot League. And then you had 10 points for Jalen Sinclair, their senior point guard out of Manhattan, with 6 assists and only 1 turnover against that Friar defense. Just 10 turnovers and none in the last 10 minutes of the game for Lehigh.
Well, Lehigh's top 5 guys, the 5 starters, they all played very well. I mean, they hung in this one, and they made big shots and stopped some runs. The Friars looked like they were going to take control of it. Never could get under that double-digit lead, but they were tough in there. They didn't give up.
Yeah, they did in that North Carolina game. We mentioned it a couple of times already, but while they were down by 9 to North Carolina at halftime, they cut it to within 3 before North Carolina took it out late to a 90-68 win.
Yeah, that's a tough place to play in North Carolina. But this team, they're in the Patriot League, so they schedule tough games before the league starts. So they know they have to win that league. It's a one-bid league, and these games will help them down the road when it comes time to win their conference tournament.
Lehigh shot 27 of 60 overall, 45% respectable. 6 of 17 from 3, 35% respectable. Just 4 of 6 from the free throw line, however, and that's really the difference, or one of the differences in this game, is the Friars also made more and attempted more. On the rebounding side, it was a 37-30 edge for the Friars on the backboards. And again, just 10 turnovers in this game for Lehigh. They took good care of the basketball. Take a look at the Friar numbers here, and obviously 54 combined for Oduro and Hopkins, but Josh had 29 points and 7 boards. He was 13 of 18 from the floor. He hit 1 of 2 from 3, 2 of 2 from the foul line. And then Hopkins had easily his best offensive game of the year, season-high 25 points with 14 rebounds. So it's his 3rd double-double of the season and the 13th of his career. But 25 and 14 season-high numbers for Bryce, 10 of 16 shooting. He only took 1 3, and he made it 4 of 6 from the free throw line.
Well, that's what I feel he needs to do. I mentioned that on Kevin Mack's show this past week. I think Bryce Hopkins' game is get to the basket. The mid-range game, get to the basket, in the paint, finish, get yourself to the foul line. If a three-pointer presents itself late in the shot clock or you're wide open, you take it. But don't come down and look for it all the time. I mentioned, John, a lot like Ryan Gomes when he was here. He went to a pro camp, and they kept saying to him, you got to improve your game because you need to shoot 3-pointers. So the first 3 games of the year, he comes back, he's shooting threes all the time. Yeah. And so you are who you are, and I think Bryce Hopkins showed getting out and getting down the floor and getting to gaps. The 3 shows up, shoot it, but don't exclusively look for it all the time.
Evan Carter was the other Friar in double figures with 10 points, 7 rebounds overall with 3 assists in the ball game. He had 2 points and 3 rebounds for Ticket Gaines, 3 points for Garway Duval, who took it was 1 for 3 from 3, and that was his only scoring in this one. And then you had 6 points for Rafael Castro off the bench, 3 points for Rich Barron as well. Providence shot 32 of 62. That's 52%. 5 of 15 from 3 for 33%. 9 of 13 from the free throw line, 69%, and that's right on their average at the free throw line per game.
Yeah, they got to get better in those last two stats you just mentioned, John, to be effective in the Big East and, possibly try to win this league. I mean, the league is extremely tough. I mean, you look at Marquette and UConn, they're going to be very difficult to beat. But, the three-point shooting, you had Gaines is just 3 for 19 on the year. Corey Floyd's 2 for 16 on the year. Jaden Pierre is 7 for 12, and he's not playing right now. And Oduro is, 5 for 7.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the shooting percentage on threes, they come in here shooting 30% as a team. So they need to pick that stat up to be more effective.
I mentioned 37-30 on the rebounds. Friars did have 16 assists on the 32 made baskets and had just 10 turnovers, Joe. So a better job of taking care of the basketball tonight.
Yeah, they did a good job of taking care of the basketball, and they only had 9 fouls total as a team. So they did a good job of moving their feet. Only one guy had more than one foul in the game. That was Gaines with 3. So, they're playing good defense without fouling, and that's a good what you want to do out there.
Friars moved to 5-1 on the season. We'll take a final timeout here, and we'll wrap up the Santander postgame show. Coming up, let you know what's straight ahead. From Learfield, this is Providence Friar basketball. I don't think so either. No, they didn't, because we were kind of in a tricky place where they really didn't know how to get to us. Oh, actually, yeah, they did. He did.
What?
Who came out to us? It was Tim. Coach Tim came out.
Yeah, Tim Fuller came out last
Tim Fuller
time.
came out. Yeah.
I don't know whose turn it is. It might be Nate's or maybe Matt. Matt might have had this.
Matt Palumbo. Yeah. Oh, thank you. You're going to play the Oduro cut coming back here, right? Okay. That's fine. Yeah, one of Garway Dual's 3 assists, and the feed there to Josh Oduro for 2 of his Providence high 29 points tonight. And Josh Oduro gets our Aldi Warwick outstanding performance of the game for 29 points and 7 boards.
Yeah, he was terrific out there. How about that little post-up move that he has? He just backs the guy in and has a little jump hook. I don't think he's missed that all year.
I mean, that is as soft and feathery a jump hook, I think, as we've seen a big man have in a long time.
And you know what he does? He's got such a wide body. He uses his wide body to get himself in position, and then the defender really ain't getting any leverage to get that shot and has a nice jump hook.
Right. Elsewhere in the Big East Conference tonight, well, there were actually a bunch of games on this Black Friday, but we'll kind of recap it for you here. Xavier was at home taking on the Bryant Bulldogs. Of course, Bryant, with that win over Florida Atlantic, a top 10 team, their first ever win over a ranked program earlier this week. But Xavier kind of slapped them back into reality a little bit today with a 100-75 win.
Yeah, I mean, that was a shocking win by Bryant, but that was a great win for him. Florida Atlantic beat Arkansas today, so they're a good club.
No question about it. Still a great week for Bryant in that regard. Butler with a win in consolation round of their tournament. They beat Penn State out of the Big Ten 88-78. UConn, no problem at all with the Manhattan Jaspers 90-60 for the defending national champs. And a good win for Villanova. They win the battle for Atlantis 79-63 in the championship game earlier today against Memphis.
Well, the Big East has done very well in those tournaments. I mean, and Villanova just came out and smashed Memphis. They were up like 44-12 in that game. They had 6 3-pointers in a 7-shot setup.
Iowa takes the only, or I should say Seton Hall takes the only loss for the Big East on the day as Iowa in a consolation game, 85-72 over the Seton Hall Pirates. Of course, the Friars win it here over Lehigh, 78-64.
Well, this is a good week for the Friars to get everybody healthy again. You know, Josh Odoro's had some ankle problems, and Ticket Gaines has had some thigh problems. So this week here, you know, they got to play a game coming up against Wagner. But, you know, they're games that are very winnable, obviously. But you want to get Jaden Pierre back healthy.
Well, I was just going to say, the next game up is Wagner in here in the AMP at 7 o'clock on Tuesday night. I'm just wondering if maybe discretion would be the better part of valor here and let Jaden out another game.
I don't think he'll play another game until, you know, maybe the Rhode Island game. But, you know, they got a tough Oklahoma game coming up on the road. Oklahoma's
6-0.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They beat Southern Cal today.
Yeah, I watched them play a couple of times. They're good. I mean, their guards are good. The big guys are good. So that's going to be a monster game at Oklahoma. So, you know, you want Jaden Pierre back for that game. And, you know, hopefully he's riding a bike and staying in shape because hasn't been playing. But you got to get him healthy with that groin injury. You got to be 100% healthy before you can play in that one.
How do you balance the need for staying in shape versus the need for keeping your hamstring healthy?
Well, you got to, you know, you can ride the bike to stay in shape. You're not going to put any stress on your hamstring. You know, when you're playing defense and you're sliding along, that's where your groin and your hamstring really comes into effect, and you can't explode to take a jump shot either or get to the basket. So those type of movements you don't do, but you can ride a bike. You don't have that explosiveness going side to side, and that's where you can make it worse. So you ride the bike and get your wind up, but, you know, you still got to be in playing shape, and it'll take him a couple of games to get back.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if maybe he didn't play 1 or 2 before Oklahoma at least. So I would think he'd probably be back for Rhode Island. That's just a guess.
Well, he could be back for that one. Plus, you know, you test him out in practice and see how he's feeling, and he has to tell you how he's feeling. And if there's any kind of twinge at all, you just stop. You don't play, and hopefully he can notice that and just don't try to come back too soon, because if you do, John, I've been there. You just don't. It never gets better. It just lingers. So you got to get it better 100%.
Well, that is what they did with him when he felt that twinge in the Bahamas. They told him to just stop. He did, and hopefully it will heal up and get better sooner rather than later.
It was just a freak thing at practice too. He was just doing a weave, and all of a sudden he just pulled something there, or he tweaked it, and unfortunately he was out. But I mean, I would have liked to have him at 100% because he was playing good basketball before he got hurt. Our
thanks to studio producer Andrew Meehan, our engineer Matt Morrell, and for Austin Rooke on the stats and the halftime show, and my partner Joe Hassett. I'm John Rooke. Again, our final score in the app here, 78-64. Providence gets the W. You knocked me off the air.
Oh,
what are you
I'm
doing?
sorry, man. I pushed the wrong button.
How many years
the trick to fame's kicking in on me, baby. I'm trying to stay awake.
I was just about to say, oh my gosh, here we go all over again. So for all the good guys, the good guys win tonight. How about that? We'll have the broadcast on Tuesday against Wagner on WPRO beginning at 6:40 with the pregame and the tip-off at 7 right here on News Talk 99.7 and AM 630 WPRO. Until then, have a great weekend, and so long, everybody. He kicked me off the air, and he's trying to push himself. Right? I was going to
to say that, but I said, nah, I'm going to leave that alone.